Sachin Mailavarapu. We saw him on a hat-trick against the Titans last week, and here he is against the Philadelphians, wrecking the middle order.
Well. Milind Kumar, the captain, walking back without troubling the scores. 14 now for 2. Well, Liam Plunkett seems to be the next man in. Yeah, probably after Jonathan Fu, who's walking to the middle now. So he's had to pad up quickly, Plunkett, a man that's been in the runs, one of the more experienced players. Fu comes to the middle. Well, Jonathan Fu, who's had a superb season in his very first for the Philadelphians in 2021. They need similar production from him. It's been a subpar year by his high standards. A man with so much experience from Guyana. Just 146 runs. Remember, he would have scored in excess of 400 runs in the 13 innings he played. Average over 58 for the Philadelphians is why they had to bring him back as that wild card option. But if his team ever needed him, it would be in this game, in such an important weekend in the Festival of Cricket. Boy, do they need him to show up. Jonathan Fu on a hat-trick as well. Sachin Mailavarapu.
Yeah, big moment here. Saeed and Milind Kumar back in the hut. Jonathan Fu facing up to Sachin Mailavarapu. He's got to slip in place.
Oh, very watchful, Jonathan Fu. But clearly, Jasdeep Singh has found a remedy that he likes to go to. Going to an over left arm spin in the power play. In the last game against the Titans, they did this. They were able to just take 2 wickets in a single over from the bowling of Sachin Mailavarapu. Stallions winning, of course, by 3 wickets against the Empire State Titans, who they bowled out for 113 and then chased it down in the final over.
Yeah, we managed to see 2 sets of hat-trick balls in that game. One from the man bowling at the moment, Mailavarapu, and one from Manoj Acharya, who no doubt we'll see later on, one of the top bowlers for the Stallions this year. But Sachin Mailavarapu has been exceptional so far for the Stallions.
Close out the over, Sash. Close out the over.
Important that he finishes strong here without conceding a boundary. That would be so critical. Ends with a dot. Excellent over for Mailavarapu and the Stallions, who have struck back 14 for 2.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Gorgeous day for cricket. The umbrellas are out, the hats are out, in the VIP area as well of this Philadelphia Cricket Festival. What a weekend it's been so far. Just day 1. Tomorrow we have 2 more exciting matches coming for you. Down the leg side, has he got a tackle on it? He may have just brushed the pad. Jesse Singh searching for that first wicket for him. And they want to keep taking wickets, the Stallions. Something that they do so well early on with their different options. Singh has the ability to just shuffle his bowlers. He has Acharya, who we haven't seen yet. Seen Jonathan Carter in the 1 game he played, bowled with the new ball as well. Picked up 4 wickets. Nino Henry is another option. Man from Antigua. this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. So, Matthew, they've lost 2 early wickets now, the Philadelphians. A batting lineup that's been very inconsistent. At times, we see them score in excess of 190, but also at times 68 for 9 against the Atlanta Lightning, 96 against the Hawks just last weekend. How do they approach this innings, losing Kumar and Abdullah Saeed?
They've got a powerful batting lineup still to come. You saw the likes of Liam Plunkett getting ready, Chiru Bhatia as well. I think it's important that Fu and Derek Narayan
aerial, but over the infield. Hasn't quite timed it. They won't get to the boundary, but they'll come back for 2.
Yeah, we both know that Fu and Derek Narayan are 2 very aggressive batsmen. Ideally, they would love to play shots, but in this situation, they've lost Abdullah Saeed, they've lost Milind Kumar. They've got to stand up here. Derek Narayan, as we mentioned, has gotten some starts, has played some cameos. He's got to push on. And same for Jonathan Fu. Fu has helped them out of some dire situations we saw up in DC, but he's going to have to play another one of those type of innings here.
Down to third. There's that fielder in place. 1 of 2 outside the circle in the power play. Jesse Singh, a man that's obviously played 10 international matches for the USA. 6-1 internationals, 40 20s. It's a very important season for him, especially the bowler, for trying to break his way back into that US team. Obviously, the team that now went to the T20 World Cup qualifiers. He was left out of that running, but he's been trusted with the captaincy, seen as one of the leaders in this USA system. So can he get his team back to a finals weekend? On the leg side will be some runs. A team that really came to the fore in North Carolina, peaked at the right time, they like to say, Matthew. He was superb to watch, as was the Stallions. They came up short against the Silicon Valley Strikers. Well, in the last over, Sachin Mailavarapu was superb. First, going through the gate of Abdullah Saeed, and then the very next delivery, the wicket that they would have identified as the key. Milind Kumar looking to sweep early on. Just went straight up, easy catch for Nino Henry. Boy, was that a big passage of play in the scheme of this game. I've seen a lot of success for seamers on that length. Sort of shorter to good length between the 6 and 9 meter mark. Jasdeep Singh, economical over comes to an end. Just 6 from it, 20 for 2.
Nice. At
the end of 3 overs, the Philadelphia team has scored 20 runs for a loss of 2 wickets.
You can see Derek Narayan holding this Philadelphians batting lineup together. A lineup that has shown that they can get those big totals to in excess of 190 already in this tournament. They've also been restricted to under 100 3 times. And they'll need the likes of Fu and Narayan at the crease, but also Bhatia, Liam Plunkett, who I expect to see very soon, who's been in the runs and the wickets for this team, to come in. Good to see the youth out in their numbers as well.
Yeah, lots of youngsters coming to enjoy the festival here. This one, straight from Derek Narayan. Dominic Ricky coming around.
I was just looking at Sachin Mailavarapu last season. I remember watching him in that North Carolina weekend. Looked like a completely different bowler on turf pitches. Was able to get some purchase and really was a handful. He took 20 wickets last season. And people, I think, underestimate how good that is, those numbers on these synthetic surfaces which don't spin. Likewise, Damian Jacobs, who picked up 32. These surfaces are really tough for bowlers generally. It's a synthetic matting surface with that cement underneath. So not very often will you see a lot of spin on offer. There are no cracks to help spinners. But the way he's bowled, just stump to stump, very attacking. And obviously, without spin, Matthew, you have to then vary your pace and length a lot more.
Yeah, and so far, Sachin Mailavarapu has done very, very nicely to cope with the conditions here. 2 for 3 so far.
Just for those at home that may not have seen a synthetic surface before and maybe wondering about it here at Exton Park, we had it last week at Idlewood Park as well. You can see there a very lavish green top, sort of that artificial grass, and underneath that is cement. So very interesting. Beautiful delivery. Very interesting in terms of how it plays. It's so unpredictable. You sometimes get variable bounce. It's much slower in nature. And another challenge that the Philadelphians and other teams in this Eastern Conference have had to deal with. Edge. And just put down. Paul Palmat slip. They had their man full. Can be a dangerous player. Mailavarapu is again causing problems.
Yeah, you can see here getting the edge. And Paul Palmer, tough chance, diving away to his right.
Look at that delivery. Just allowing the ball to do something in the air. Good changes of pace. This is top stuff from Mailavarapu. End of the over, 23 for 2.
And at the end of 4 overs, the Philadelphians have scored 23 runs for 2 wickets.
Well, a top order that's really struggled, the Philadelphians. Here again, losing early wickets. Last weekend, they lost 3 wickets inside the power play twice, both on Saturday and Sunday against the DC Hawks. It's been a real reoccurring issue for this Philadelphians team. And Matthew, you know the struggles of getting any momentum in your innings when you lose 3 wickets inside the first 6. Always going to be tough for your middle order.
Yeah, it's left the Philadelphians with a middle order that is constantly exposed. Just because the top order hasn't really fired. They haven't really carried on for long periods of time. We see Abdullah Saeed and Derek Narayan getting plenty of starts and plenty of cameos, but never quite pushing on. And when they lose Milind Kumar, it makes matters worse, as we see Nino Henry.
Starts with an aggressive short delivery, just signaled wide by umpire Urshan Samuels. Nino Henry has that bit of extra pace. You can see there, I think on this surface, when you bowl into the deck, you will lose some of that pace, but he's showing that he can generate some extra bounce as well. Full, straight, and just over. Jasdeep Singh goes all the way actually for 6. So Nino Henry, welcome into the attack. Derek Narayan meets him with pure aggression.
Yeah, we saw Derek Narayan saw the first short delivery, perhaps knowing exactly where he was going to go with the fuller one, and more than equal to the task. He has played some very nice shots today, Derek Narayan. Lovely shot from the left-hander.
He's a man that you would have seen quite a number of times, Matthew, being from that New York area, Derek Narayan. But every time he's connected, it's come out the middle of the bat. So that will be a real boost of confidence, not only for him, but for the Philadelphians. Just to see someone be able to spend some time at the crease and get value for runs. This time in the air, long on his back, and he can only watch it. 6, and then another one from Derek Narayan. Nino Henry's come into the attack and been met with brute force.
Derek Narayan perhaps getting his revenge on that earlier short delivery. Look at that. Back-to-back 6s off the bat of Derek Narayan. And he's still mounting a fight despite the loss of a couple of wickets. Derek Narayan still on the front foot, not afraid to take on the bowler.
Yeah, you got to pull your length back if you are Nino Henry. You can see what he was trying to do though with Jesse Singh going back to that long on boundary. It was almost a case of telling Derek Narayan, well, you want to hit me into that bigger straight boundary with a fielder bat, then go right ahead. Narayan said, well, my brother, whatever you can do, I can do better. He cleared the head this time quite easily of Jasdeep Singh. Full. And this time, how often have we seen it? 6-6 and then a wicket. And just trying one too many. It's the third wicket yet again gone down in the power play.
Yeah, another one. Nino Henry going full. Derek Narayan looking to take him on again, playing a similar shot. This time miscuing it. And running back is Sai Mukamala. Pulls off the catch, and is the third down for the Philadelphians in the power play. Derek Narayan was looking so good, but yet again, we see him hit the 20s and fall. 36 for 3 as Narayan goes.
Crucial wicket for the Philadelphians. You just wonder, though, was it necessary? You've already lost 2 in the power play. You just hit 2 maximums. Narayan walking back for 24. 36 now for 3. And it's just been a constant story for the Philadelphians inside the first 6 overs. Yes, well, you want to take advantage of the restrictions, have to manage that aggression. Liam Plunkett, former international England player, former World Cup winner as well, comes to the middle. And they've been really reliant on Plunkett this season. His very first of the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. 120 runs, average 40. Been very hard to dismiss. He's also picked up 7 wickets for this Philadelphian side.
Halfway.
So Nino Henry strikes back. Man who would have played first class cricket for the Leeward Islands just a couple of months ago. Been brought in now as a wildcard replacement. Needing some bit of extra bowling depth. Started the tournament well, 2 for wickets last weekend for 31 runs against the Titans. It's been an eventful over, though, for the Stallions. Nino Henry was pummeled for 2 maximums. That was the first. Went straight, went full. Derek Narayan almost went straight up in the air. The second one was probably even better from Narayan, better timing. And you thought, well, you've already gotten 12 runs from the over. Can definitely manage the aggression, control the innings from there on in. But Narayan, shorter length, looking to go over the offside this time. Easy catch for Sateja Mukamala. Pace off just past that point fielder. And it will just get into the boundary as well. So an expensive over for the Stallions, but crucially, they've picked up their 3rd wicket. An over that concedes 17 runs, 40 for 3.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
1, 2, 3.
40 for 3 at the end of 5 overs. My dad joins me into the comm box.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. We've seen quality bowling from Sachin Mailavarapu. We didn't expect anything lesser. And a scorecard that reads 3 down for 40 on the board. Philadelphians under pressure. Big weekend for them. They will need good results.
Yeah, but so far hasn't been good going for the Philadelphians. Derek Narayan was looking bright, but as we've seen far too often in this series, getting to that 20 mark, 25, and then getting out. And it's been a problem here for the Philadelphians. The top order has not clicked, and add the loss of Milind Kumar first ball into it only makes matters worse.
Yes, Matt, we've seen let's talk about the quality of this bowling. Very experienced minor league attack. Jesse Singh is one of the best in the country. Sachin Mailavarapu, this man has come onto the scene and he is really impressed last year. He continues to do that. So very tidy bowling, but we've seen Jonathan Fu. He's a fighter. He is always coming in tough situations, and he has made things work here for the Philadelphians. So ball pushed up on the offside, running low on gas.
Yeah, really is Jonathan Fu. Needs to fuel up with some Sunoco. The Philadelphians could use some of that right now. Hasn't necessarily gone to plan for them, but a solid over. Brilliant from Sachin Mailavarapu. 3 overs, 2 for 5. It's 41 for 3 at the end of the power play.
Manoj, you want to go? Another power play batsman. Manoj, come. Manoj, go square boundary. Power play signal coming up.
At the end of 6 overs, the Philadelphians have
So
scored
Derek Narayan
41
led the way
runs
for the Philadelphians, but only as far as 24 runs. We saw the loss of Abdullah Saeed and then Milind Kumar, a crucial wicket first ball. And since then, Jonathan Fu has tried to repair things, 7 of 17. Trying to not give his wicket away, Plunkett alongside him. Here we see a few of the many fans here at Exton Park.
Yes, Matt, they've run out of chairs apparently on the grass. But that's a lovely place to watch the game. They're on the top of the hill.
Well, I know in the Caribbean and in the CPL, people tend to rather sit on the grass rather than the actual seats in the stadiums.
So Nino Henry comes back into the attack, Matt. He's having a very good game. We saw taking the catch to dismiss Milind Kumar, and he's come back with one important wicket, the wicket of Derek Narayan, who was quite a contest in that over until it ended.
Yeah, very contrasting over indeed. Got the wicket of Derek Narayan, but still went for 17 in that over, Nino Henry.
It's a ball cut away here by Liam Plunkett. He's a top quality player, having played at the international level.
World Cup winner Liam Plunkett would have done wonders in that final as well with ball in hand against New Zealand. But now he's called to the task for his batting. I'm sure Liam Plunkett has brought in a lot of the support here at Exton Park. Much loved face by the Philadelphian fans, by cricket fans in general. Love seeing a player of Plunkett's caliber moving to the US and helping to promote the sport here in the country. Got a big role to play here along with Jonathan Fu and the rest of the batting lineup.
Yes, Matt, you're right on that. This tournament has always been about some big names. We've seen a startling start to the championship by Shehan Jayasuriya, Unmukt Chan. They're playing well over in Silicon Valley. Rakeem Cornwall out of the West Indies is creating a bit of stir in this tournament. The man on your screen, Liam Plunkett, he's another one.
So many names to look forward to on any part of the country, wherever you're from, whatever team you support. That's what minor league is all about.
And Matt, one of the good things for the Atlantic region, we haven't had any interruptions because of rain, and the weather has been absolutely brilliant so far. You look at what's happening here at Exton Park. We haven't had rain in probably the last 10 days. We got a light shower yesterday, but other than that, it's been really good weather for cricket. Once it's not raining, it's good weather for cricket.
Yes, indeed.
So the Philadelphians held on a very tight rein. Important weekend for them, Matt. They will have to get points. They will have to go away at the end of Sunday afternoon with a couple of wins in the bag to really put them on course to challenge Manhattan Yorkers and the Stallions.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be quite glad that the Somerset Cavaliers fell short to the DC Hawks today, given that's one less team they have to worry about. But still, they've got to do their own job, and that's to win. And winning won't be easy, given they're coming up against the two top teams. 46 for 3 at the end of 7.
And after 7 overs of play, the Philadelphians have scored 46 runs for a fall of 3 wickets.
So Abdullah Said, top of the order, he went for 6. 24 from Narain. Bilin Kumar without scoring.
If you want to keep track of the score during the match, you can follow the score of the match and all the other matches around minor league cricket by checking out crickclubs.com/MILC.
So the VIP tent. A lot of folks in that tent, Matt. It's gonna fill up maybe a little bit later on, but it's beginning to get quite hectic there. And that's the VIP tent. Everybody all intact, waiting to see the Philadelphians and this New Jersey Stallion clash. It's well on the way, with the Stallions having a little bit of advantage at the moment. Raymond Ramratan has been given the ball. And Matt, he forms an already strong bowling lineup. It is so strong that a player of Stephen Wigg's caliber cannot fit in the side anymore.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Stephen Wigg was the Stallions' leading wicket taker last year, one of the standouts. And all of a sudden, all it took was a bad game or two, and just like that, has been struggling to find himself back in the team since. It just goes to show the strength of the Stallions side.
So Plunkett on strike. So bowling change. The leg spinner comes into the attack, Raymond.
Even Darren Davis, a player that came in with high expectations from the New England Eagles, not in the team. It shows the amount of quality that the Stallions have to offer. Raymond Ramratan is one of them. Top all-rounder. We saw him last week at Idlewild. Took the game away from the Titans with the bat. Led the New Jersey Stallions along with Deep Patel. Played a very good hand, formed a very good partnership with Deep Patel.
Yeah, Matt, you're right on that. Carmichael comes into the Philadelphians today. No Drysdale. And so a lot of moving parts. The Philadelphians, they're at home to the Stallions. And this has been a quality start here from Raymond Ramratan. Jonathan Fu comes back into strike. And Matt, we made the point on some cricketers that came out of Albion in Guyana. Jonathan Fu is one of those players. The club that provided us a chance to see Narsingh Dio Narain, Sushiv Narain, Devendra Bishu, Veerasamy Perumal, Gudakesh Moti. Jonathan Fu comes out of Albion in Guyana. Swinging towards the onside. We'll only get a single. This has been quality stuff from Raymond Ramratan. He simply picks up from where Sachin Mailavarapu has left off. Very tidy bowling so far.
Keep going, Ray. Just far the buck, not full.
Yeah, tidy over here from Raymond Ramratan. Finishes off nicely, just 2 runs off it. 48 for 3, struggling here a bit are the Philadelphians.
What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
So back at Exton Park. Yeah, that wave. Big wave crowd are beginning to come into Exton Park. A lot has been put into this to this event. Sunoco flag, of course, fluttering. So 48 for 3 at the end of 8, Matt.
Well decorated always is Exton Park with the flags waving around. We've seen the minor league flag, the Sunoco flag, the Toyota flag, the Parks Casino flag, the main sponsor for the Philadelphians. Decorated all across the ground, and there we see the ad boards, Dafa News, Sunoco, Toyota. Thanking all of those sponsors as we see Manoj Acharya introduced into the attack. A bit later on than we've been accustomed to seeing him.
Yeah, Matt, you sometimes don't bowl on what you have. You bowl on the state of the game. We've seen Jonathan Fu and Liam Plunkett beginning to mount a bit of a fight back, but it's going to be a long road for them. Manoj Acharya, he's a quality bowler. We saw him last year, and he's going to come in here with some bit of experience from last year. 48 for 3.
Yeah, they've done well so far, and this is one of those innings here with Fu and Plunkett. Both of them are very experienced enough to realize they've got to push this game very deep. They've got to hang in there. They've really got to fight and grind themselves out of this situation.
And the fact is, Matt, Manoj Acharya comes into this Stallions bowling attack with the leading wicket taker, 13 wickets this season so far. So he's done better than Ramratan. He's done better than Mailavarapu. He's done better than Jesse Singh. And he's been given the ball in the 9th over with 3 wickets down. That's the bowling strength of the Stallions.
Yeah, Manoj Acharya made a name for himself last year with the Manhattan Yorkers. Came into this year's minor league a completely different player. Made the big move to the Stallions. Now he's coming with a lot higher expectations, and he's certainly lived up to them. So has delivered the goods for the Stallions so far.
So 49 on the board. Just taking the Philadelphians, the loss of 3 wickets to get to this point. And Matt, what we saw earlier on, Abdullah Saeed and Derek Narain, we made the point during the course of prepping for this contest. They have never batted out the power play. They struggle to really get going, both of them. And so you're watching the Toyota 2022 Minor League Cricket Series presented by Sunoco. This ball is turned into the offside. And that brings up the 50 here for the Philadelphians. They come at a loss of 3 wickets, and we're in the 9th over.
It's been tough going so far for the Philadelphians, but Fu and Plunkett fighting back for the time being. Couple of steps down the track from Jonathan Fu. But all he could do is pick out the fielder. So Manoj Acharya adds to his to be done. Comes in at a tough point, but we saw Anirudh Emmanuel a couple of times with the bat in hand. Seems to be a handy batsman, and he's got the company of the experienced Liam Plunkett with him.
Yes, Matt, he's also the vice captain of the team. We saw him in opening day, batted at number 3, so he's a capable batter. But another wicket falls not too long ago. Jonathan Fu is gone, so a lot of trouble here for the Philadelphians. Still a long way to go, 68 balls remaining. And Manu Jacharia strikes in this first over. Quality bowler this man is. And already he's joined the likes of Sachin Mailavarapu and Nino Henry with among the wickets here this afternoon. Straight away gets off the mark. And they'll come back for a couple of runs. A good start here from Emmanuel. He gets going off the very first ball that he faced. 67 balls to go.
Aaron Emmanuel coming up against his former franchise, was with the Stallions last year. Makes the move to the Philadelphians.
Yeah, Matt, what a powerful put-together Stallions bowling lineup we've seen. A side that certainly has decided to go without Stephen Wigg and Darren Davis. And so far, the boys, Jesse Singh, Mailavarapu, Nino Henry, Raymond Ramaratan, and Manu Jacharia has carried the brunt of the work. And so far, so good.
All the way back here. I can reach.
So 4 runs in this over so far. Quality 1 for a start here from Manu Jacharia.
Dead ball.
So a couple of dead ball signals here by Rashane. Shane Samuels busy with the dead balls. Last few attempts of a delivery from Manu Jacharia.
So that will complete over number 9. And after 9, the Philadelphians batting first. They're 52 for 4.
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
52 for 4, the Philadelphians. See the fans in attendance and the Parks Casino flag waving. Sponsors of the Philadelphians, the largest casino chain in Pennsylvania. 52 for 4. It's been tough here for the Stallions so far.
So Ramaratan continues. Plunkett picks up another run. And it's really been tough here.
Let's go, boys, let's go!
Some great bowling here from the Stallions so far. Top of the table. Along with Manhattan Yorkers tied up there, Matt. Both teams will be looking to push on this weekend. Looking for 2. Fielder comes in. And 2 more runs here to Emmanuel. 55 for 4.
Woo! That's a panic shot. Which way is it turning? I'll hit it that one. Get it, Henry, get it!
Ray Ramartan, spinners have done very well. Mailavarapu and now Ramartan, 1.2 overs for 5. Looking for a couple of aggressive sweeps here as Emmanuel, not getting hold of any. Just a single.
Number 5 here, number 5!
Yes, Matt, and all the action could be covered in text by going to DAFA News, your news premium site, to get all what's happening. Ramaratan continues to bowl extremely well here, Mato.
Lovely, boys, lovely, Ray!
Ray, yeah, it's been a very good day for Raymond Ramaratan.
Close it out, Ray, close it out!
So ball paddling to the onside. That's a good-looking shot from Plunkett. Plunkett will get him a couple of runs. 2 more runs here to the Philadelphians. Still some ways to go. 61 balls still to be bowled. When you look at the card here, they're batting at 58 for 4 at the moment. Oh, he comes down the track is Liam Plunkett. And that's a good looking shot. That's gone away for 6. Lovely shot from Liam Plunkett.
And that's a 6 hit by Liam Plunkett.
So take a look at this one. Yes, on the front foot. That's a lovely looking strike here from Liam Plunkett. Gone all the way for maximum. 10 overs gone, 64 for 4.
Come on, guys.
And at the end of 10 overs, the Philadelphians have scored 64 runs for 4 wickets.
Next up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank all the kind kid volunteers from Carolina International and the Philadelphians for helping out today. This event would not be
So 64 for 4.
Let's give them a round of applause.
So we've got the ground filling up here at Exton Park. Big game on hand as we welcome Brian back into the box.
Hello, Annie. Hello, everybody. Great to be here for the first time in this match. The Philadelphians in front of a big and growing home crowd are 64 for 4.
So ball played softly into the onside. We've seen the Philadelphians struggling the top order again, Brian, but that's how it goes sometimes. The battle is on. Stallions is a top-class team.
They are. They're among the top 2. They're in pole position to make the playoffs out of this Eastern Division. And, you know, Philadelphians are going to have to come up with something special.
But by no means it's over yet. We've seen so many twist and turn in a game called T20 cricket. And you never know what could happen.
No, you really can't, especially when you've got a man of Liam Plunkett's expertise and experience at the crease for this Philadelphian side. Of course, those of you not terribly familiar, he's a world champion, World Cup champion from a couple of years ago, long and illustrious career with England, with Surrey, a man who has played at every level of the game, and here he is helping out American cricket grow here with the Philadelphians.
So these games are all courtesy of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And how grateful are we for Toyota and certainly Sunoco, Dafa News, and the other sponsors that came aboard this year. Brian Barish?
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, it's great to see all of the money and everything else, the resources, but also the support for this great game as it grows in this country.
So shot played into the onside. Take a look at this one. A fielder comes around, will not get to the ball. And we'll have to wait and see for the signal from the umpire. So it's gone for 6. Again off the bat of Liam Plunkett. That's a lovely shot.
Can he plunk it? Yes, he can. And that's the thing, is that he usually, when he was playing internationally in T20s and domestically, he would come in lower in the order. But because of experience, you are seeing him come in at number 5, and that's exactly the damage he can do as he dispatches that one somewhere near the creek.
And the fact is, Brian seems to be targeting the advertising board, trying to give them a little bit more mileage.
Every time you hit one, it's an extra $5.
So this over's gone for 8 so far from Manoj Acharya. We're beginning to see a bit of a fight back here from Liam Plunkett and Anirudh Emmanuel. There we go. Quality delivery here from Manoj Acharya, so that will complete over number 11. And after 11 Philadelphians, they're batting a 72 for 4.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Philadelphians have scored.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
So welcome back to the spacious Exton Park, Brian.
Yeah, there's a lot of real estate. And a lot of people, as you see. I just took a walk around in the first part of this innings. They're expecting about 1,000 or so people here, and I think that's spot on. And they are all over. They're on the ground on the Church Farms Road side. You see some of the people who've made their way out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon to catch some cricket, and a lot of folks who are experienced, but a lot of people learning for the first time. Heard more than a few people explaining the rules as we are back to play. That one is cut to the man on the 45, and that is through for a dot ball. 72 for 4 remains the score.
So Myla Varapu comes back into the attack. He's really been excellent. 2 for 5 in 3 overs. So ball worked into the offside. Couple of runs here again off the bat of Liam Plunkett. As Sachin Myla Varapu comes back into the attack. This has been a quality bowling performance here from Sachin Myla Varapu.
It really has been, and it's one of the reasons why the Stallions are where they are in the Eastern Conference and the Eastern Division standings.
So ball driven up into the offside. Brian, Exton Park will host 15 games at the end of the 2022 season. We saw them hosting 8 games last year. We've already seen 2 this season. 4 will happen this weekend, and 1 will come in 2 weeks.
And it's a fabulous ground, as you mentioned. It's also very pastoral, as Liam Plunkett has mentioned. It reminds him very much of England, as this one has worked to the offside. They'll come through for a run. And very well, nicely worked by the teenager Anirudh Emmanuel, 17 years of age. He'll turn 18, I think in September is when his birthday is. And he's also the vice captain of this Philadelphia side. That's a lot of to be given to it. Well, it looks like he may have been run out. Yes, that's exactly what's happened here. So it looks like there was a mix-up. We're just seeing it now. And it looks like, Plunkett went and Emmanuel didn't. That is, I believe, what the call is here. So that is what has happened. So in any event, it is a wicket to Philadelphians, and now they find themselves at 75 for 5.
So Shiro Bhatia comes to the middle. And the Philadelphians, they're struggling here. Wickets falling. 5 down. Shiro Bhatia comes to the middle. Will join Liam Plunkett. Still 48 balls to be bowled. And you've got to applaud the work done by the Stallions, Brian. No wonder they have so much points ahead of anybody else. Let's take a look at this one. So ball played into the offside. And Liam Plunkett may have taken off and changed his mind. And in the end, Anirudh Emmanuel committed to the run. And another wicket goes down. Good angle.
Yeah, we had seen it from the side-on angle, and it looked like he had gone through. But that's a huge wicket. And especially, you still have Plunkett on strike. You can't rely too much on Liam Plunkett here as we get in towards the second half of this innings. But the Philadelphians, they've struggled over the last couple of games to reach 3 figures. They didn't do it in 2 games, and a win and a loss last weekend at DC. And they're struggling here once again as Bhatia comes and takes strike.
So Bhatia has played a couple of good hands for them.
Let's go there, boy.
We'll have to come up very good here today. 48 balls to be bowled still. This one turned into the offside. Can't score. Still 75 for 5. We are in the 12th over.
That's probably showing a little bit of the inexperience of Emmanuel to take off with such a fury.
Get it, touch it. Easy, man.
So single to get Shiro Bhatia onto strike. Still very quiet going here for the Philadelphians. And Brian, they continue to lose wicket at regular interval.
Yeah, and that's they keep batting themselves into that trouble.
76 runs for a fall of 5 wickets.
So 12 overs gone, 78 for 5.
Just one over there. Huh? One over. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up. Captain informed, one over down. One over down.
So there you have it. Abdullah Saeed, Derek Narain, Milian Kumar, Jonathan Fu, and Rudy Manuel all back in the shade, Brian. 76 for 5.
Yeah, and yeah, and it's going to be a very difficult road to hoe for the Philadelphians here as they come down the stretch. And you know, as we mentioned the amount of we mentioned the struggles they had last week. They've mentioned, you know, in some of the instances where they've had really strong performances, where they scored 191 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, only to see them chase it down with Hemraj hitting a century. So as we get set, we have Singh in to bowl his third over, having given up 17 runs from the first one. He'll bowl from the, looks like he'll bowl from the, what is that, the Swedesford, rather that'll be from the creek end on the other side. Brian Barish alongside Lenny Echebar.
So Jesse Singh comes back into the attack. Couple of overs at the start of the innings. This has been a quality season again for the Stallions. And Brian, I'm just going to pick your brain a little bit. What are their chances? What are their chances making playoffs? Solid?
For the Philadelphians, yeah, I think that they have to take both games this weekend. I think even if they earn a split, they're still very much in the thick of things. But they're playing both of the top teams. They've got the Stallions today. They're playing the Yorkers tomorrow. A sweep would go a really good way towards that goal.
So ball defended here by Shiro Bhatia. We saw Shiro Bhatia during the course of this season. Got a couple of tall scores. And Shiro Bhatia has come into the side as a bowling all-rounder and has made himself so useful in the middle order. You will have to give them a big boost today. Jesse Singh, he's a quality fast bowler, has been part of the U.S. setup for some time. And he will want some top performance to get him back in the frame and in the thick of things with the U.S. selection. So some time here maybe for Shiro Bhatia. Still 45 balls left to be bowled. And Jesse Singh right on the money, 3-dot balls.
And we saw, you know, that target of 125 set in the first game. I think a good par score might be closer to 140. And the way the Philadelphians are going and the way now that Singh is bowling with 3-dot balls in this over, I don't know that I think more realistically we were looking, I think, at a good score of 120, which the Philadelphians have in the past, you know, been able to defend.
So ball, oh, there's a big appeal. Oh. No signal from the umpire, so good bit of work here from Anthony Bramble. Ball going down the left side. Have a look at this one, Brian.
Yeah, this one, it looked like it may have caught his pad first and then or would have hit one then the other. It definitely went off his leg pad, which is why it was given not out.
So Anthony Bramble, top keeper, who's been part of the Guyana team for some time, first class player. So Shiro Bhatia will feel a little bit of ease. He's gotten away here from Jesse Singh. From a ball going down the leg side, Brian, that passed really close to the bat.
Yeah, it really did. It looks like it may have glanced off his hip there. It all looks the same from here, doesn't it? But it's, you know, it is one of those, and you know, a lot of times, and that's the other thing, those of you not familiar with cricket, the fielders have to appeal to the umpire. The umpire doesn't just give it out. It's not like in baseball where they make the call. It's like a bang, bang play. They have to appeal, and sometimes the veracity of the appeal may actually influence the umpire. Doesn't do it all the time, but usually if everybody is really convinced that they'll actually go and maybe give the edge to the fielder.
So he comes down the track. Liam Plunkett got a good slice on this one. He'll come back for a couple of runs. Good looking shot here from Liam Plunkett. He's carrying the fight to the Stallions. 13 gone, 79 for 5. So we're watching the Philly Summer Cricket Festival in progress here at Exton Park. Shiro Bhatia and Liam Plunkett battling along. And look at that, enjoying every moment of it. Probably the best seat in the house.
There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people here checking out the matches here. It's on for old and young, as they say. And as we said, somewhere in excess of around 1,000 or so people is what they have expected here today. And there's a lot to do here, a lot from our sponsors. We mentioned Toyota, Sunoco, DAFA News, the local sponsor here, Parks for the Philadelphians. And you know, it's been absolute, couldn't ask for a better day. A little on the warm side, a little bit of slip, slop, slap required, as the late Richie Benno used to say. But it's been everything that these Philadelphians, that everybody here at the Philadelphians has hoped it would be. Now they just need a win.
So Ramratan comes into the attack. Ball played into the offside. And that's gone away before. Good looking shot from Shiro Bhatia.
That's 4 runs from
Yeah, great shot there, and he needed that to get away. And as we check this one again, hit this one in the air and through for a boundary. Very good by Bhatia. He'll try to get settled in as the Philadelphians try to get this innings back on track.
So Raymond Ramratan comes back into the attack. He's been on the expensive side. That's a quality delivery, and we saw last week, Brian, Raymond Ramratan was player of the game, player of the match. Played well in New York last week.
Yeah, and he's done very, very well. As that one is worked to the onside, but not out of the infield, walked to the offside rather, as it was cut through and through for a dot ball. 4 runs so far given up off of this over by Ramratan.
So ball played into the offside again. Look at that. This probably would gone all the way. So 6 off the bat of Shiro Bhatia. We've seen a couple of fours, a couple of boundaries in this over. 1-4, 1-6. That's a good looking shot.
That's a very good one out into the, I think those are strawberries maybe that they're growing out there. It used to be corn, but they've cut that down on the Sweetsford Road end, but that was sweetly hit. And again, another much needed boundary for this Philadelphian side.
So very expensive bowling today from Raymond Ramratan. He's a better bowler than what the figures are showing. This over's gone for 10.
Oh.
We're beginning to see a partnership forming here. 15 so far. They're up to 90. And this over's conceded 11 runs, Brian, one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, they're hoping that the wheels have not come off the truck here as we get in towards the last 5 overs of this first innings.
So ball played into the onside. They're gonna look for 2. Not at all. They settle for 1. That will complete over number 14. And after 14, it's 91 for 5.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Dad? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Back here in Exton Park with 6 overs remaining in the Philadelphians innings. As once again we've mentioned the crowd that has gathered here, and it's a mixture of old fans and new as the Philadelphians go through their second season here in the suburbs of the city of brotherly love.
Yes, Brian, a lot of tents, a lot of umbrellas.
A lot of food.
So Nino Henry comes back into the attack. A couple of overs for him. 1 for 22 so far. So Nino Henry comes in here with 36 balls still to be bowled. Plunkett has played a very good hand so far. He came in with a lot of work to be done. Nino Henry just making sure that the laces are tied.
Yes, you don't want to be doing any unintentional gymnastics floor routines coming up on the way to the wicket. But you know, we've mentioned the people here. There's a lot of people bringing picnics here today, which is fantastic to see on this absolutely beautiful day. The New Jersey Stallions trying to remain in first place of this Eastern Division competition.
So Nino Henry just getting ready to...
Whoop. Oh, it's the ball, I think. There looks like they are slipping the ball through the handcuffs, if you will. And I think they might be asking for a new one.
Yeah, might have been knocked out of shape. Couple of sixes from Liam, 3 sixes from Derek Narain may have knocked that one out of shape. As we see the 2 umpires out in the middle there. Roshane Samuels, the man on your left, and the man in the middle is Mihir Patel. Mihir comes out of New Jersey. Ritesh Patel, the 3rd umpire, he is also from New Jersey. And umpire Roshane comes from the Atlanta region. So Jesse Singh getting involved, trying to probably get a choice of what ball they'll probably use. And Jesse will know because he will have to probably bowl again.
Yeah, they're looking at it. It looks like they're going to have to go into the onion box and grab a new one, it looks like, as we see more shots of the crowd. You know, it's we talk about this Exton Park, Lenny, and you know what? We are going to see 2 more games tomorrow with the DC Hawks taking on the New Jersey Stallions, and then the Philadelphians going up against the Manhattan Yorkers, another top of the table clash. And you know, hopefully we'll have to see. The weather should be just as good as it is, and hopefully if you're in the Philadelphia area, come on out for what should be an absolutely wonderful day's cricket, wonderful day of sport here in the Philadelphia area.
Yes, Brian, this area is packed. So I think Nino Henry is ready to go. They have found a worthwhile ball, and 91 for 5, still 36 balls to go. Will come into bowl to Liam Plunkett. Pace off the ball. He does well to keep the ball to only a dot, and Plunkett remains on 28.
And Plunkett did actually very well as that one was headed to the off stump to actually get something of it and drive it into the ground. In baseball, they call that a Baltimore chopper, just straight into the ground and take out the risk of an edge.
So ball pulled and pulled well. That's a good-looking shot from Liam Plunkett, and that has gone away for another boundary.
Yeah, right in his wheelhouse, and he had to turn that one, and that one went right over mid-wicket. And there's Plunkett. He can show he is a good hitter, even though he was a lower order batsman for England. You know that he has the chops, and he knows how to have the batting eye there, and 6 more runs to the total.
Yeah, good-looking shot from Liam Plunkett. They're beginning to fight back here. 22-run partnership, still 34 balls to be bowled.
1 second, Matt. 1 second. Thank you.
So 6 in this over so far from Nino Henry. Plunkett good innings so far.
Plunkett's going to be very, very, I think the one thing is that he's careful about the shots that he goes for, and you see him just sort of flash at this one that was definitely looked like it could have been called as a wide. In fact, it has been, but he did offer sort of a passing shot at it.
So another wide. Couple of wides here for Nino Henry. And this over's gone for 8. This has been a very good over here for the Philadelphians. Still just 2 balls into this over. Yeah, that's a very wide ball. As the ball goes through to Anthony Bramble.
That ball would have been high to Shaquille O'Neal.
So continuing coverage of the Philly Summer Cricket Festival continues. Philadelphians, they've reached 100 now, so 100 on the board here for the Philadelphians. And they come at the loss of 5 wickets in the 15th over, Brian.
Yeah, and it's good to see them get there. It probably would have liked to have done it a little bit sooner, but Liam Plunkett now on 35 really has helped steady this ship. And that's the kind of player he is, especially at this particular level, when you have a player of his expertise, as we've said, a player who has been in this situation before, but also is very good at crease management. And you see him during this just, again, with a cool level head. And that's the difference between being in this match and, you know, having to have an even more difficult uphill climb when they take the ball.
So we saw in the earlier game 125 didn't hold up. It's 100 on the board, still 33 balls remaining here, Brian. A run a ball will give them 133. But we'll have to wait and see. Shiro Bhatia cuts and cuts well. That's a lovely looking shot. Fielder is giving chase. And they'll pull that back. Could come back for 3. We'll wait and see. But that's a good looking shot from Shiro Bhatia.
That's a 4 probably in any other oval. We've been talking about this all day in both games about how long the grass is in that outfield. It's almost like a bowl effect, as we said earlier. The area around the boundary is a little bit more overgrown than the area in the circle.
Yes, Brian, you're right on that. And players who have played on this ground, they will know that the ball does slow up. It's a spongy surface. And so players who played on this ground would know once the ball go to the deep areas, you've got to challenge the fielder to come back for 3.
As opposed to a place like Mercer County where it's almost like playing in Jello. Because of how the entire field, it seems like at times the ball is liable to just die just about anywhere. And it's really hard to get 4s unless there's any sort of elevation to the ball.
So Bhatia will remain on 16. That will complete over number 15. And after 15, it's 104 for 5.
Scored 104 runs for 5 wickets. 5 overs remain in the innings for the Philadelphians.
An exciting game of cricket continues between the New Jersey Stallions and the Philadelphians. And of course, both teams, very important matchup. Looking to, of course, pick up their first win of this weekend. Philadelphia Cricket Festival. Brian Barish alongside me. Brian, I just had a walk around the field in my small break. So fantastic to see just the numbers of people here supporting the Philadelphians and cricket overall in the minor league. Great for the overall growth of the game. Some small activities for just to grow that reach put on by Toyota. You know, some simulations and just all fantastic stuff happening at Exton Park.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you know what's great about this is that, you know, Philadelphia sports fans will get behind just about anything. You know, I mentioned earlier that they've sold out for the National Curling Championships a couple of years ago when we had Olympics, the table tennis trials some years ago. So Philadelphians are always eager to sink their teeth into something new, and it's great to see them come out in support of the Philadelphians and minor league cricket.
Well, a good partnership developing here for the Philadelphians. 29 between these two. Liam Plunkett again in the runs. He's been so important for this team with both bat and ball. And will now need to be there for the next 5 overs. 104 for 5, Brian. What do you think is a good total for the Philadelphians to look for?
I think probably in the neighborhood of 140. You know, you would like to see them get more than a run of ball on average. And, you know, we've seen 125 not be enough earlier today, so they definitely want to get closer to that 140 mark.
Paul Palmer into the attack. Haven't usually seen Palmer with the ball in hand in this minor league. But Jesse Singh clearly wants some seam. 25 runs being scored off the last 2 overs. Ramrattan conceded 12. Nino Henry with the 2 wides, and the maximum conceded 13.
Of course, it always helps when you get these extras, too, to keep the scoreboard moving without the ball count moving.
Yeah, it's been an interesting approach from Liam Plunkett. Obviously, we know the power that he possesses walking in to bat at number 5. But the way he's just controlled the aggression, batted the situation well, just hit 3 boundaries in his 36. Which tells you that he's doing a really good job for his team, but he needs some support. Chiranshu Bhatia has done well at the other end. Not much batting to come, so it will be up to these two before that low order is exposed.
Yeah, and he's been very methodical, has Liam Plunkett. You know, it is possible to steady the ship and to get your team in position without smashing it all over the park.
Much better length that time from Paul Palmer. Well, you look at in terms of the options that Jesse Singh has at his disposal to close out this innings. 1 from himself, the captain. You expect him to bowl maybe the penultimate. Nino Henry, he's been expensive, gone over 11.5 runs per over. Ramrattan, the leg spinner, he's got 1, and then Acharya, 2 important overs. A no ball signaled by the umpire, so it will be a free hit. Huge gift for Liam Plunkett, a man that's been there for 33 deliveries. That will excite him. And Paul Palmer, this experiment hasn't quite worked so far. 4 from the first 2 deliveries and a free hit to follow.
And the 3rd extra, giving up third illegal delivery in this spell.
Goes straight up. Don't think it will go to the boundary. It won't. It's dropped, but it was a free hit. Wouldn't have mattered had that catch been taken, but still, you want to take the easy catches just to give you the confidence that you can hold on. So they get 2 runs in the end.
And get the ball back in quickly to at least put pressures on the batters as they're running between the wickets.
Crafty, very crafty from Liam Plunkett. Superb option, just goes over the keeper's head. Nothing that Bramble or Jesse Singh could do about that shot. Just good batting from Plunkett.
The key to scoring a lot of runs is just hitting it where they ain't, and that's exactly what Plunkett does as he finds the gap directly behind the wicket, and he's able to get 4 runs out of it to add to their total as they go on the 115 for 5.
A much better line this time. Just wide of that on that 4 stump line, and what a shot that was, that small ramp. And Palmer still has another delivery because of that extra. Already, these last 2 overs have been very expensive. 12 runs already from this over. Can he close it out well? They need a wicket, need to break this partnership, because Bhatia, you expect, will go after him. Much slower in pace, Paul Palmer. Does go after him through extra cover. He struck that so powerfully, but it is a slow outfield. Just goes past Nino Henry, who will be disappointed. He's one of the better fielders in this Stallions team. But it ends in what was an expensive over for the Stallions. 16 runs from it, 120 for 5. Well, a team that's recovered after the power play. They lost 3 wickets inside the first 6 overs. Then a couple of good partnerships has helped them get to a competitive total. 120 for 5, you think, Brian? Surely 140, but even 150 could be on the cards. The last 3 overs have been tall in terms of those Manhattans, the towers.
Yeah, there's a lot of big buildings up there towards the end, and you know it's really smart playing by Plunkett. I think, like you said, Nikhil, 150 is now very much in the mirrors here, and I think that the way this pitch has been playing, that will be a very difficult target to chase, but they got to get to that point first.
James, right arm over.
Manoj Acharya will come back into the attack, but you mentioned Liam Plunkett and his sort of just how much they've relied on this man. Comes in with 120 runs, but he's averaging 40 with the bat. And he's had to bat in some real tight situations today again for his team after they lost 3 early wickets. Just had to come in and rebuild the innings. Did extremely well, just 5 away from a half century. And what a revelation he's been for not only the Philadelphians, but to have the caliber of quality of player of a Liam Plunkett in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, of course.
Yeah, and it really just helps give the league and the competition a lot of credibility when you see somebody come over and willing to give their knowledge and their guidance, not just to this team, but also to the program. A lot of young players, especially for the U.S. national team, as they try to advance themselves in major tournaments. And what he can give, not just on the field, but off of it, will advance that a great deal.
Yeah, spot on. Liam Plunkett's also coaching in the Philadelphia Cricket Academy, so good to see him giving back to the youth, the youngsters. Big swing and a miss, but luckily, because it just ricochets off of Anthony Bramble, they get through for the single. Nice partnership here developing for the Philadelphians, but they want to close out the innings well. Acharya back into the attack. I like that length because he does have a bit of extra pace, Manoj Acharya. May have just hit the rough in front of Anthony Bramble. Always going to be tough to navigate as a keeper. Have seen this quite a number of times from Manoj Acharya in this innings. He's missed his run-up. And you do tend to get that for players that are used to bowling on turf surfaces. Then you have sort of that change when you approach the synthetic matting.
Yeah, it is definitely a different look as opposed to a more natural wicket.
2 is the call. Down to cow corner. Should get it quite easily in the end. It's good batting from Sharanshu Bhatia, just ensuring that they get it in the gap. Sorry, it's actually Liam Plunkett. 3 away from a 50 now. Good slower delivery from Acharya, a man that's been seriously in the wickets. The fact that the Stallions have lost their 2 leading wicket takers in Justin Dill, who's made the move to the St. Louis Americans, and Stephen Wigg, who took 27 wickets last season. They've had to rely on Manoj Acharya in a huge way to pick up the slack. He's been a huge addition. Acharya, 13 wickets already. Picked up 20 last season, but you expect him to go past that tally. Averaging 14.5 with the ball in hand. Boy, has he been special. And he's been consistently outside that off stump, and it's been tough to score against him. Manoj Acharya.
Yeah, and one of the things we've talked about earlier is the challenge of building up these teams as they go through from season to season. and you know, being able to replace some of these players and plug in holes, and that's been the challenge in terms of being competitive in this competition where the rosters change from season to season.
Connects with that one. Connects with that one well. As it races over the rope. Full for maximum. Shiranshu Bhatia's power on display.
Yeah, and he has the ability to do that, and you see that one head out somewhere near the creek end, and this one just a decent length ball, but he was able to pick this one up. As we see that again, it was a little on the short side, but picked up nicely and dispatched over the sight screen and into the creek.
All of a sudden, 40 runs from the last 4, 131 for 5.
One, two, three.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Coming back batter, right arm over.
Good to see the elderly in support, the senior citizens out watching. They would have seen so many years of sport. Great to see. Speaking to some of those in the crowd as well. A lot of Americans, Brian, born in America, but they're just fascinated with the way that cricket, sort of the differences between cricket and baseball and what it brings. Nino Henry will bowl his final over.
Yeah, and there's a lot. It's amazing when people ask me about it. They say, "Well, I don't understand it. It's so complicated." It really isn't. There are so many concepts that are similar to baseball. And you know, we talk about Nate Hayes, who's done such great work. He's going around and he's explained the rules to a fair number of people here today.
Finds the fielder, has to hurry, Plunkett. Had it hit direct, could have been in real trouble, but in the end gets home.
I'm going to tell you, I think it would have been very, very close. I think he's probably, just on the naked eye, probably would have been out by about a good 2 steps.
Yeah, I think would have been gone by a long way.
Yep.
It's been a real fascinating innings, the way this has developed. Obviously, they were under some real trouble in the first 6 overs, lost 3 early wickets. Then a small partnership developed for the Philadelphians.
Thanks, son.
They scored at just around 6 runs per over, right up until the 13th over where they were 79 for 5. But all of a sudden, this partnership has just flicked the switch. They've gone past 10 and over in the last 4. 40 runs have been scored. Nicked and gone. Nino Henry's been expensive, but he has that knack for picking up wickets, is why they've acquired him. And Shiranshu Bhatia has to go, as well as the partnership has to go as well.
It was a very handy partnership. As you see, he catches a thick top edge and goes right into the gloves. So Bhatia forming a good partnership here, but he has to go for 27 from 19.
So Shiranshu Bhatia walking back into the hutch, and for the Philadelphians, they'll need to ensure that they can keep that momentum building to finish out these 20 overs. 1-3-2 for 5. Trinson Carmichael comes to the middle, not really known for his batting exploits. They've left out Mario Ramprasad. You can see 2 matches, but hasn't featured with bat or ball. Carmichael. It was good bowling from Nino Henry, though, knowing that Bhatia is very strong against those fuller deliveries. Just effort delivery into the pitch. And the stats slower nature, making it very difficult to hit. Easy catch in the end, taken by Bramble. Safe pair of hands. What a partnership that was
Number 24, Trinson Carmichael.
for the Philadelphians. Getting to 57. Was very disappointed. Batia wanted to take that ramp option. Carmichael's got to hurry at the bowler's end. Could be a run-out chance. Just gets there.
All right, mate.
Good throw, maybe puts him under pressure here, but that one just a little bit high.
Henry's gone over 11 runs per over, but he's picked up 2 wickets. Plunkett hasn't quite got this one. Goes straight up in the air, and it will be taken. It's 2 in the over. And both set batters who were taking the game away from the Stallions have been dismissed. What a spell. What a comeback for Nino Henry after he conceded 13 runs in his last over.
Yeah, and his eyes lit up just a little bit too there. William Plunkett looking to get to his 50 in style, but he pops it out there, and so he'll have to go, having been dismissed for 48.
How often do we see this? 2 wickets going down in the same over. Both set batters gone. 1-3-3 for 7. But at this rate, they would have gotten to 150. Now with 2 lower batters in, the question remains, can they get over that 150 mark? Can they get to it? Trinson Carmichael will need to come to the party, much like Kangura. What a comeback it was from Nino Henry, because it's a bold move as well by the captain, Jasdeep Singh, to go back to him, because loose delivery from Nino Henry. He'll be very disappointed with that to the new batter. Would have wanted to attack the stumps and be in the reckoning for a third. But it's just down the leg side. Not a great delivery.
And punished summarily there as he just got a piece of that, but as he was trying to bowl that one just right at him, and he turns around and knocks that one over fine leg.
I was just making the point. His economy rate before this over 11.6, Nino Henry. So it was a bold move by Jesse Singh. Didn't have to go back to him. But it's why they brought him in to this minor league championship, to take wickets. Boy, has he done that, not only with 1, but 2 in the same over. Great over for the Stallions as this game keeps going back and forth. 138 for 7.
At the end of 18 overs, the Philadelphians have scored 138 runs for 7 wickets.
Couple of starts for the Philadelphians. Jonathan Fu struggled. Derek Narayan played some lavish drives and pulls. 24 from just 10 deliveries, but besides Liam Plunkett, no one else really able to take hold of this game. Well, Jesse Singh has 1 over remaining. Expect to see him, and probably Manoj Acharya as well. He's just picked up the 1 wicket.
Over 8.
Sun is out. Umbrellas are out as well. The caps. If you want to join the action, join us here at Exton Park for this festival of cricket. Jesse Singh continuing. There it is, Yorker. You miss, I hit from Singh.
Wow, that's another one there, and another one bites the dust for the Philadelphians, and it is slowly unraveling like a really cheap pair of shoes at the moment. And a great ball by Singh to come in as he picks up his first wicket in his 4th over, and the Philadelphians are 138 for 8.
Just went full.
My step come right here.
Yorker and attacking the stumps. Exactly what's needed in these latter overs. Carmichael, just the 1 boundary for him. He's gone for 6. 138 for 8 now. And all of a sudden you thought scoring at over 10 runs and over in the last 4 overs, the Philadelphians were looking at 150 plus. But again, what's haunted them throughout this minor league tournament has been the loss of wickets, and the loss of wickets in clusters as well. They lost 2 wickets in the second over, 2 wickets again in the 18th. Not doing themselves any favors, the Philadelphians. And you don't want to be leaving deliveries to face. We saw it in the first game with the Cavaliers. They only batted 18.3 overs. Still left 9 deliveries out there. So if you are the Philadelphians and this last pair, you want to make sure that you can bat the remaining overs, try to salvage how many ever runs you can. Short, but they'll just get the single.
And I don't remember very many games until the very end of the season. I think it was the last 3 games of the season last year that they got down past the number 8 batter. So it's very different look for the Philadelphians to have their tail come up. They've had to have it on several occasions. They got bowled out last Sunday, and they got down to the 11th batter, Mantha, who ended up hitting the game-winning runs in the final over when they were only chasing 97 to win.
In the air, could be another one. Bramble calls. Bramble takes. Singer's got 2 in the over. It's the 3rd time the Philadelphians have lost 2 wickets in the same over. And this is disastrous for the home team. Pin drop silence surrounds Exton Park.
Yeah, and this once again, and what a great job by Bramble, who takes his 2nd catch here. And once again, we've seen in the other game players lose the ball in the sun, but Bramble makes absolutely no mistake. The Philadelphians now 138 for 9.
Last pair now for the Philadelphians. Hayat Khan comes to the middle. And Jesse Singh will be so hungry for a 3rd wicket and looking to finish this innings off. Goes full at the stumps, exactly where he wants to be. 2 is the call. Run out chance, surely. And I think he's short. He's gone. Not smart cricket from the Philadelphians. You need to bat the full quota of 20 overs. Instead, they go for 2, which was never on. And an easy finish for the Stallions, who end up taking 5 wickets in the last 2 overs. They're gone by a long way. Anthony Bramble does the rest.
And the Philadelphians, who they struggled at the beginning of the innings. They put together a couple of really good partnerships, especially the one with Plunkett and Bhatia, and then they finish on that weak note. And so what started out, and they actually had fought back, Nick. They really, really did. It looked like at one point we were talking about 150. The target's going to be 139, and you would have to see with this bowling attack, we'll have to see if they're able to defend it.
Well, real disappointment for the Philadelphians on what looked to be such a promising start from the likes of Derek Narain. Then a big partnership was put on. Liam Plunkett was a standout, 48 for him. But as soon as they lost the wicket of Shiranshu Bhatia, the wickets just tumbled like dominoes. Bhatia went in the same over, then Plunkett followed. And then 3 wickets taken, the tail cleaned up by Jesse Singh. And a real disastrous run out in the end. Bowling card with Nino Henry taking 3 wickets. Vaharapu, 2 for 9. He was brilliant.
Yeah, and you see Henry, he got those 3 wickets. He was relatively expensive, you see there with the 10.5 economy rate, but Milarapu coming in and doing the job, giving up just 9 runs off of his 4 overs.
So the Philadelphians will need to be superb in the field if they want to defend just 138. Let's have a look at how things would have unfolded for the Philadelphians with the bat in hand. A real topsy-turvy type of innings. Started with a big blows. Abdullah Saeed into the onside. And then Derek Narine was just class. Really shot the ball well. Beautiful delivery from Sachin. Maila Varapu, who took 2 wickets in the over. What? Very first delivery, the captain Kumar, who's been the leading scorer for this team, is walking back. Derek Henry struck Nino Henry for Derek Narine struck Nino Henry for 2 big maximums. And what followed was pure disaster for the Philadelphians, because after Narine took 2, he just got carried away, went for 3rd, and instead found the extra cover fielder. Satyajit Mukamala made no mistake. The Chariot came in. Able to get a wicket straight away. Easy catch for Singh. Ramratan, the leg spinner, was met by some aggression from Liam Plunkett, who batted it superbly well. He's been one of the main contributors for this team with both bat and ball. Hit a few out the ground. Run out. This was a run out, which was so unfortunate for the Philadelphians. Then this partnership, 52 runs between Shiranshu Bhatia and Plunkett, which helped them get up to competitive total at one stage. You thought with some real big blows, going at 7.5 runs per over, maybe 150 on the cards. They were well set, comfortable between overs 13 and 17. They scored at over 10 runs per over, but some way, somehow, just lost momentum in this innings, and really there was never no coming back after they lost both Bhatia and Liam Plunkett. Another big shot that was. Then in this over, this is where the game changed. Henry picking up the wickets of both Bhatia and Liam Plunkett. And the Stallions did so well to be clinical and close out the innings. Jesse Singh came into the attack for both the 19th over and took 2 wickets. And then, of course, finish it off well. The Stallions to restrict this Philadelphia team to 140, which means that when we return, the Stallions will need to just score 7.5 runs per over. They need 141 to win. We'd love to see you soon.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco. You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Well, a real appetizing game of cricket and an appetizing 20 overs remaining in this contest after the Philadelphians at one stage were in real good stead to get past 150. Managed to scrape their way to 140. What is pivotal, though, is that they've left 8 legal deliveries out there after being bowled out for 140. Liam Plunkett was a standout with his 48, as well as Sachin Mailavarapu, 2 for 9 in his 4 overs. In the end, Nino Henry getting 3 for 42. And it will mean then the Stallions openers out in the middle, Dominic Ricky and Anthony Bramble, will need 141 if they are to gain victory and further cement their place at the top of this Eastern table. They've only lost 2 games. They will take some beating. The Stallions, one of the strongest teams, obviously the runners-up of the 2021 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Anthony Bramble, with all his experience, one of the most powerful players in this tournament, but he's struggled for runs, Matt. Probably below par based on what we're used to seeing from him. 133 runs in the tournament so far. Still a healthy average over 20, but he'll want to up that. Will want to get a big score and a big start for his team.
Yeah, especially given the expectations of a player like Anthony Bramble, who had experience briefly at the West Indies level and was part of the Amazon Warriors set up for a number of years now. There's Dominic Ricky on the other end, another player that had experience at the US national level recently.
Yeah, Ricky was great for this team last season. And he's also leading the run scoring charts for the Stallions in 2022. So Liam Plunkett will start things off for this Philadelphians team. Obviously the World Cup winner, 2019 World Cup winner for England. And has already picked up 7 wickets in this tournament. He's been so reliable for this Philadelphians team. Got 48 today with the bat in hand, but a completely new job for his team. And definitely the key will be for the Philadelphians to take early wickets, because if Bramble, Ricky, or even a Paul Palmer can get away, they could be really against it, up against it. The Philadelphians, they just have to score at 7 runs and over. So that won't be too hard, you think, with a stacked batting lineup, the Stallions.
All right, guys. Ready, partner? Last place.
Good delivery. Good delivery for a stop. Jonathan Fu behind the stumps because of the absence of Mario Rampasad. So Jonathan Fu, usually see him with the ball in hand. Took the most wickets for this team. You can see Anthony Bramble coming right across that off stump. Just want to leave him, Liam Plunkett. So leaves this one. And he's getting some slight inward movement with that angle over the wicket to the right-hander. And even on these synthetic surfaces where you don't get much sideways movement, what Plunkett is able to do so well with those strong wrists behind the ball, just angling the ball into the right-handed Bramble and then getting a few to leave, that we've seen inside the space of these first 2 deliveries. There it is again. You see that very firm wrist behind the ball, and with that inward movement, just leaving Anthony Bramble. So testing times for the Stallions opener. This is a good battle unfolding here between these two experienced players, 2 big players for each team. Another dot ball. No, it won't be actually. Ricochets off the hand of Plunkett. So it will be a single in the first runs for the Stallions.
Leg on. Leg. Little more. You got it.
Just have to wonder how long will Liam Plunkett be able to get that bit of movement with that brand new ball. He's such an experienced player. What a joy it is, though, having someone like Liam Plunkett in the minor league. And it's credit to our global partners having international players on board this season. Another good delivery. This has been a joy to watch. Have a closer look. You see again, angling the ball in and then just leaving the right-hander. So Jonathan Foos has some work behind the stumps. That would excite Liam Plunkett if he can just start one a bit straighter.
Yeah.
Third in place, so just would be a single. But an excellent first over from Plunkett and the Philadelphians. This is going to be an enticing game of cricket, 2 for none.
Down we go, boys. Early one here.
After the first over, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 2 runs for 0 wickets.
Look at that batting lineup though, Matthew. A lot of batting to come. Obviously Paul Palmer, the first-class player, the Jamaican. Then Satyajit Mukamala, just making his international debut, the youngster. So much batting. Raymond Ramratan, the power of Jesse Singh. Just an all-round unit, and it's why they've been so impressive and been able to win 6 out of their first 8 games. Yeah, second game for Carmichael, but first time bowling and straight away with the new ball. Milind Kumar looking for wickets. We'll want to follow up off the back of the Liam Plunkett's excellent first over.
Look. 45, come over. Come.
Yeah, another one of those players that performed well, but were not retained from the Empire State Titans. Good length from Trimson Carmichael. Also from Guyana, like a Jonathan Fu or a Dominic Ricky as well. So Anthony Bramble, a lot of Guyanese in this matchup.
Wait. Just in front. No, use it. Wait, okay, come.
So Carmichael very flat in terms of his trajectory. A skiddy type left arm spinner. Real big turn of the ball. This time over extra cover. Sweet. And scamper for cover if you're in the dugout, if you're here watching at Exton Park, because the power of Anthony Bramble on display.
Yeah, going after Trinson Carmichael on that occasion. Look at that. Lovely shot from Anthony Bramble. All the way for 6 and takes a chair out in the VIP tent.
Just quick hands through the ball, Anthony Bramble. An interesting observation for you, Matt. Something I'll tell you after this delivery. Short this time, but there is that super out on the boundary. Because we have our global partners on board, the likes of Toyota, the likes of Sunoco, Dafa News as well, it allows you to bring international players in. It's an all-Guyanese affair happening in the middle. Jonathan Fu from Guyana behind the stumps. The 2 batters, Bramble and Ricky, both from Guyana, and Trinson Carmichael, also from Guyana. taken and gone. The Philadelphians strike. And boy, do they need a lot more of where that came from. Just plucked out of the air from Sharan Chubatia.
Yeah, big wicket there. Shinson Carmichael giving that one a bit shorter. Dominic Ricky looking to pull it away, and after a bit of a juggle, in the end, the catch is taken. So the Philadelphians strike, and it's the end of Dominic Ricky.
Ricky walking back for just 2 runs. We'll be disappointed with that. It was Hayat Khan actually who took the catch, so 10 for 1, the Stallions.
So Saiteja Mukamala, top youngster, one of the highest rated in the country. Saiteja Mukamala comes in after the fall of Dominic Ricky. Bit of a juggling act from Hayat Khan, but in the end held on, and Carmichael has a wicket.
Yeah, this youngster's really one to watch. If you're now joining the minor league action for the first time, this young man is one to keep your ears and eyes open for the next years to come, because just 18 years old, he's already played 4-1 internationals for the USA team in the 50-over format, of course. 367 runs in 2021. He was their leading run scorer at just 17 years old. Magnificent young talent we have on display in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Carmichael getting early taste of success in his very first game bowling for the Philadelphians. He was drafted at the beginning of the season. Just went short, skidded on to Dominic Ricky. Good delivery to end the first over. Just 8 from it and a wicket. 10 for 1.
And after 2 overs, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 10 runs for the loss of 1 wicket.
So construction needed to be done from the Stallions as they in search of that 141 for victory. And it would be their 7th victory. It would also take them to the top of this Eastern Conference. But there's a long way away. It's been a good start from the Philadelphians bowlers, and a good thing to see the youngsters out in their numbers as well, supporting the home team. Plunkett again starting with a good delivery, just leaving Anthony Bramble. And anytime you're able to keep a man with the power of Anthony Bramble to just 8 from his first 7 deliveries, you know you're doing well as a bowling unit.
Yeah, and it shows the quality of Liam Plunkett especially. We saw how good he was to Bramble in that first over. But it's been a good start for the Philadelphians. We did see a 6 from Bramble, but other than that, it's been all the Philadelphians. Already the wicket of Dominic Ricky. Just the run rate of 4.6 at the moment.
Well, how critical is this? No ball signal from the umpire. And after all the pressure and all the hard work Liam Plunkett has done to keep Anthony Bramble quiet, he's bowled all of his deliveries at Bramble. And now Bramble will have a huge gift, a let-off for the Stallions. Can he make use of it? Free hit coming up.
Yeah, you never want to give a free hit to a player like Anthony Bramble. They're already attacking enough as it is.
Brute force, power, aggression, all the way for a maximum. Plunkett is disgusted because they were just working the plan so well to Bramble. But as the pressure comes off, free hit delivery, he travels the distance.
Yeah, maximizing that one was Anthony Bramble. Swinging that one away into the leg side, cracking shot. And the second maximum off the bat of Anthony Bramble.
Also helped that he's got one out the middle of the bat, got it well. Yeah, that's what works so well for him. I was kind of surprised that Plunkett went to that shorter delivery. Even though it was a free hit delivery, you can't change the field, Matt. But you've been so successful going full. Went too short, and Bramble just helped it along its way. Such a powerful player.
Here he is, Anthony Bramble. Can hit them a very long way. And he's shown that hit. Plunkett looking to come back better.
Struck it well, but well cut off on the 30-yard circle by Abdullah Saeed. Just be a single. Striking it well, Anthony Bramble, when he does make contact. Brings Mukamala on strike. How highly is Sateja Mukamala rated, Matt, for you, as sort of in that youngsters group, in the youth that are around that national setup? Have a lot of international players making their debut. Yasser Mohammed, a lot of youngsters, but this man on screen, boy, is he a special talent.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best in that pool, and the pool seems to be growing. Thanks to minor league cricket, we see so many new youngsters, the likes of Jariwala, Krishnamurti, Yasser Mohammed, Ritvik Behera, Sai Mukamala himself, all making their debuts recently for the US.
Yeah, he's just so easy on the eye, Mukamala. Never tries too hard, just seems to caress the ball. And I think the big moment for me was seeing him in the Houston Challenge earlier this year. Sateja Mukamala, where he scored the most runs playing against the best in the country. Again, through the covers. Derek Narayan couldn't cut it off. So they come back for another 2 runs. An expensive over comes to an end. 21 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Go. TC.
But if you missed out on the action today at Exton Park, join us tomorrow for the second day of this cricket festival put on by the Philadelphians. And boy, has it been special just to see the overall atmosphere at the venue. Credit to all those involved in making this happen. Of course, our global partners, sponsors for this tournament, Toyota, our presenting sponsor, Sunoco, and our official sponsor, Dafa News. Shiranshu Bhatia will come into the attack. Interesting move from Milind Kumar. Just the one over from Carmichael, pulled out of the attack, even though he's picked up a wicket.
Yeah, perhaps looking to keep things unpredictable, keep things fresh. Introduction of Chiru Bhatia, who would have gotten a fifer on opening day of the minor league 2022. The Philadelphians are a team that have a lot of all-around talent. They bat deep, and they've got a lot of options with the ball as well.
Yeah, and speaking of those options, 8 used last weekend for the Philadelphians. So definitely Milind Kumar never hesitates in terms of ringing in the changes.
Just a little bit. That's 2.
So Bhatia, again, they have to take wickets because they only need to score no less than 7 runs and over. Bramble, with his power still there, he's got a start, which will worry the Philadelphians.
Yeah.
And of course, Mukamala at the other end. Has batted at 3 pretty much throughout this tournament. Sateja Mukamala, as well as last season for this New Jersey Stallions team. Helped along its way, and it will be runs. Fine leg up in the circle. It gives him the comfort, Bramble, to go all the way, and goes big, maximum. Runs beginning to flow for the New Jersey Stallions.
Yeah, Anthony Bramble, a little bit innovative this time, walking across and just getting that one all the way for 6. Anthony Bramble, he's dealing in 6s at the moment, 3 of them already in his quick innings of 23, and it hasn't been a great start from Chiru Bhatia.
But if you're here in attendance at Exton Park, you're not safe in the crowd. We might not even be safe in the commentary box, Matthew, because the power of Bramble. Here he is again, this time too short, too wide, and 4 more. Anthony Bramble, take a bow. It's a superb start, just what his team would have wanted.
Keep coming, boys. Keep coming, boys.
Yeah, this is the type of Anthony Bramble that the Stallions would have won. Has struggled for runs in the last few games, but here he is, taking the fight to the Philadelphians, taking the game away from them at the moment.
Scintillating from Bramble. 6 and then 2 boundaries. And the game slowly slipping away from the Philadelphians. How do you stop this man? He's been quiet all season. Could this be the innings that just allows him to break out in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship?
Yeah, short again from Chiru Bhatia. Nice swivel. Pulled away easily by Anthony Bramble. Making light work of this chase so far. Still 105 to go, but he's definitely getting the Stallions well ahead.
Pace off and through point this time. He's toyed with the fielders, Bramble. And I don't think he's cut it off. The fielder at deep cover. And it will be another boundary. What an over this is turning out to be. 19 runs have already come from it. And Bhatia's not done yet.
Yeah, nightmare here from Chiru Bhatia. 3 4s and a 6 from Bramble.
Fielder tried to put out the boot to stop it. Clearly making contact with that rope at the same time as with the ball. And Derek Narayan unable to stop it, so good decision in the end by umpire Roshan Samuels. And all of a sudden, as the run rate has gone past 10 and over. Oh no, that is rubbing salt in the wounds for the Philadelphians. And you can hear as well, through the stump mics, they were boisterous, the Philadelphians. You could hear encouragement. But since that second over, it's been carnage and they've been quiet. Just seems like the morale has been dented a bit.
Yeah, the morale perhaps dented since the end of the first innings, given the way they collapsed right at the end. Chiru Bhatia with a good ball to finish what's been a difficult over for him. 20 off it, 41 for 1 after 4.
And after 4 overs, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 41 runs for the loss of 1 wicket.
Well, 4 eventful overs have been completed. 35 of the 41 runs scored by Anthony Bramble, who will be looking to win this game for his team. Remember, he's replacing Rovman Powell, who they originally brought in as their player, but then had international duty, so he's got big shoes to fill. Anthony Bramble. Oh, I want to be there. I want to be there, Matt. In the sun, just relaxing on the mound. Tell you, this Philadelphia Cricket Festival has been truly picturesque, just to see folks in the comfort of the breeze here at Exton Park. Nice weather. This has been a fantastic day of cricket.
Really has, from the supporters to the cricket itself. We've had so much excitement. It's been such a great time so far. And we've still got tomorrow, action-packed day tomorrow as well. Tristan Carmichael comes back. The first over went for 8 with a wicket. Dominic Rickey, they'll be hoping for him to get us another.
Change of ends for the left-arm spinner. I think if you're Mukamala, you just want to get one and get Bramble on strike, especially facing Carmichael, the spinner, much slower through the air, gives Bramble time. But no, he's not slowing up. Mukamala takes it on and is taken in the deep. Just what the Philadelphians needed after a 20-run over. It just holds out at deep mid-wicket. Sateja Mukamala, a rare low score for him.
Yeah, and a rare loose shot from Mukamala as well. Normally a player that likes to take his time and thrives by just stroking it along the ground. This time looking to go big. And in the end, picks out Milind Kumar out in the deep. It's a very good catch. Had to run to his left. Doing very well.
Mukamala going for 2. And Stallions 41 for 2. Real surprised though to see that type of option from Mukamala, given the type of player he is, a man that likes to spend time at the crease, occupy the crease, and then kick on. Paul Palmer comes to the middle. I think this partnership, not only for this game, Matt, but for the rest of this tournament, need to produce 2 experienced players, 2 players that played a lot of cricket at the first-class level. Palmer for Jamaica and Bramble for Guyana. Expect them to do the bulk of the scoring for the Stallions, and if they want to be contesting till finals weekend in North Carolina, I think these are the 2 that need to step up in a big way. So good opportunity for Paul Palmer. No real pressure on, just need to run a ball from here on in. A good opportunity for him to go big.
Yeah, and he's got Anthony Bramble already doing the heavy lifting at the other end. So it makes Paul Palmer's job a lot less harder if Anthony Bramble can continue striking the way he is. Over 205 at the moment, Anthony Bramble's strike rate. So I really take a liking to what Chiru Bhatia was offering in the previous over. But here's Carmichael.
So now 2 wickets for Trinson Carmichael. And you wonder, just first time he's bowling in this minor league tournament. Look at that shot. It's gone all the way for 6 into the tent. And if that is not a statement to the Philadelphians hitting it into their VIP area, then I don't know what is. Anthony Bramble, watch out.
Yeah, Trinson Carmichael has not been greeted very nicely here by Bramble in this over. Stepping across, playing that sweep shot. And as you mentioned, sending it right into the Philadelphians VIP tent. Telling the Philadelphians that he's the man single-handedly at the moment, taking the game away from them.
Stop this time by that fine leg fielder inside the circle.
Send it a correct spot.
At a similar stage, they were 40 for 3 at the end of 5 overs, the Philadelphians. So even though similar, not too far off in terms of the scoring, but what the Stallions will have on their side, Matt, is the 2 times they've chased in this tournament, they are unbeaten. So clearly a better team when they know exactly what they need to go after and how to go after the runs. They batted first 6 times in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. But the key will be for Bramble to ensure he takes the game deep. Don't want to leave it for anyone else, even though you have a deep batting lineup. Probably is in his best nick of the tournament so far. 41 from just 20. Already 4 huge maximums. Carmichael under some pressure to close out this over well. Didn't get this one, didn't get this one. And it's a wicket, 2 in the over for Carmichael. And Bramble has thrown it away. What a game of cricket this has been. This pendulum has swung back and forth. And all of a sudden, with the game slipping away from the Stallions, it may just have swung back in their favor with this wicket.
Anthony Bramble looking to go big. Kangura out in the deep takes the catch. And Trinson Carmichael has got all 3 so far. Stallions 47 for 3. Bramble goes.
And very similarly, to the Philadelphians, they've lost 3 inside the power play. Interesting times ahead. End of 5, 47 for 3.
That's the Brooklyn piece again. Yeah, was it?
So 47 for 3.
One more for 4, boys.
New Jersey Stallions. Anthony Bramble, 41 off 21 deliveries, is back in the shade now. We've got a change in voices.
Yes, Matt. We've seen a very good enthralling contest developing in front of us, and it's all happening here at the beautiful Exton Park.
And you made a point before the second innings, and you made me tell the people if you were right on it, and so far you've been right. And what was that claim that you made before this inning started?
Yes, Matt, I've seen Carmichael with the Empire State Titans last year. Played in a match, didn't get to bowl, but the very next match he created quite a stir, and that's exactly what has happened here. Milind Kumar comes into the attack.
You were right on it. Predicted Carmichael to have a good day. He's having a very good day. 3 wickets, all of them belonging to Chinson Carmichael.
So here is the wickets from the last over. There we go, ball pulled into the onside. The catching of the Philadelphians have been excellent. Oh, look at that from Milind Kumar.
That's all right, that's all right.
So Palmer is off and running with a single. And now here's the big wicket, Anthony Bramble, looking to go big. Yash Kangura running in, takes the catch in the end. Big moment there.
So we've seen very good feeling from the Philadelphians. They're doing everything to protect the remaining 94 runs from 89 balls, 3 wickets down. And Milind Kumar, he's bowled quite a bit in this series, and we'll have to give them a very good bowling performance here. We saw good performance from Carmichael, and Milind Kumar will have to give a very good one here today.
Yeah, catch him right. Lovely, guys, lovely, lovely.
So Deep Patel
Get it, get it.
gets a very good ball. The throw comes in. We'll have to wait and see if he struck the stumps in time before the batter got to the crease, man. But that was a very cheeky single. Nervous moment here for the Stallions. 49-3.
Nervous indeed, and Chirubatia coming in with the throw, running in quickly.
Take a look at this one. No. Batter was home. Paul Palmer running and running quickly. This is good cricket here from the Philadelphians and the Stallions. A win here for the Stallions will give them a sort of a pull away. They still have another game tomorrow. Good tidy bowling here from Milind Kumar. We saw impressive bowling from Carmichael. Makes you want to remember earlier match. We saw Narvekar and the boys from the DC Hawks. Sarabjit Singh Lada.
That's all right. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like your plan there, right? They come in.
So lots of cricket left in this one. This game hangs in the balance.
No. Throw it. Good word. Run out here, guys. This guy don't want a bat in here, boys.
Big crowd watching this game. 49-3. This has been a very tidy over here from Milind Kumar.
Good pressure. Come on, boys. That's it.
Oh, again, it's a tidy completion of the 6th over. What an over here from Milind Kumar. 6 gone, 49-3.
New Jersey Stallions have scored 49 runs for a loss of 3 wickets after 6 overs of play.
So the batting card for you, Bramble, a breezy 41, really played shots all around the ground and outside of the playing area a couple of times. But look at Carmichael. Carmichael has been so special today. Paul Palmer and Deep Patel out in the middle. So that's the Stallions dugout. A little bit more pensive now, Matt. We saw them in the last couple of overs. Very rowdy, very loud when Anthony Bramble took off. But now at 49 for 3, 92 to win still. A little bit more relaxed mood, probably on a little bit worrisome at the moment.
Run it out, run it out, run it out!
So ball played into the deep areas, and that has gone away for 4. So good looking shot from Deep Patel. That's a very good looking shot. And 4 runs off the bowling of Carmichael.
Yeah, and we saw Deep Patel last week against the Titans play a very good hand. And so far, he started off very nicely. Look at that, up and over.
Yeah, beat the man coming in. That's Abdullah.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking shot from Deep Patel. You were right on that. Played a very good hand in New York last week. And he comes out here with similar situations. Stallions, they need 88 from 83 balls. Yeah, sure. We have seen the comeback of Carmichael. It's been so special. You can read and follow all what's happening here on DAFA News. One of the premium site matter for cricket, especially minor league cricket. They cover all angles, and every ball is pretty much covered by DAFA News.
Yeah.
Shinson Carmichael, 3 for 19 so far. He'll be looking to get another wicket in his 3rd over. Has picked up a wicket, at least a wicket in all of his in both overs so far. Tends to bowl his full 4 overs out very quickly.
Yes, Matt, and in fact, the only blemish on the Philadelphians bowling card has to be the over from Shiro Bhatia, which would have gone for 20 runs.
No single to you, mate. No single there. Getty.
So a packed offside field here for Carmichael.
Oh!
Oh, Palmer is struck on the pad. Gonna stifle the appeal.
Strong boy.
Meher Patel, the man ruling on this end. Russian Samuels.
Beautiful bowling, mate.
Take a look
Straight
at this
up the
one.
chimney, boss.
Been sliding down leg side, perhaps. This one is played into the deep area. They'll come back for a couple of runs. Good looking shot from Paul Palmer. Every run will count here, Matt.
Yeah, the Stallions will try to not let that required rate get anywhere in an uncomfortable position. They'll want to keep the runs coming.
So still some ways to go here. The Philadelphians would badly need some points. Certainly a big weekend for this. Struck and struck well. That's a good looking shot. And that has gone for a boundary. Good shot from Paul Palmer. It may have gone all the way. And that's a good looking shot.
Yeah, lovely shot from Paul Palmer all the way for 6. Shinson Carmichael giving him some width, hammering that one. Good shot from Palmer, he goes up to 9.
Yeah, this over's gone for 13 from Carmichael. A lot of runs in this over. Not a lot of runs to play with. Ball pulled into the onside. Easy single here for Paul Palmer. In fact, it may have gone away for 4. Look at that. And that has gone away for 4. So 4 more runs off the bat of Paul Palmer. And that over's gone for 17. Yeah, short and hammered into the onside. Lovely shot from Paul Palmer. Yeah, fielded by one of the ball girls. 7 overs gone, 66 for 3.
One, two, three.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
So brilliant weather here at Exton Park. Blue skies, just some clouds there, Matt. No threat of rain. So the action will continue. 75 to win from 78 balls. Stallions, they are on 12 points. Kangura has been given the ball. Will come into bowl to Deep Patel. Paul Palmer and Deep Patel playing a very good hand here so far.
Yeah, they've carried on nicely so far. Nice little partnership of 19 between the two.
Kangura, the fifth bowler to be used here. We've seen Liam Plunkett with pace. We've seen Shiro Bhatia with a bit of medium pace. And now come Yash Kangura. We've seen a couple of spinners, Carmichael and Milind Kumar. Matt, I'm surprised Milind Kumar has not bowled another over after bowling an over that only conceded just a couple of runs.
Yeah, we've seen because of the amount of bowlers Philadelphians have, Milind Kumar has not been hesitant to bring in a new bowler, try and freshen things up. Adds that element of surprise to the Stallions. But yeah, it is surprising that he hasn't gone with himself.
Playing a miss here from Deep Patel. Good start here from Kangura, getting the ball to shape away from the batsman. Now he's getting professional advice, certainly from Liam Plunkett, who throws the ball to him, offers some bit of advice. We'll come into ball to Deep Patel, still 75 for win. They're going over 9 runs and over Matt. The asking rate, certainly not a big one, 5.8. But we have seen so many twist and turn in this chase so far.
Straight up.
Driven and driven well. That's a good looking shot from Deep Patel. Settled for one, but that was a good looking shot so far. 74 to win.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right him around.
Palmer, 13 of 9 deliveries, saw him get a couple of boundaries off of Chinson Carmichael. Deep Patel has supported him well at the other end, 74 from 76. More balls than runs is always a good sign for any chasing team.
Thank you. Staying over. Legs down, please. Yes, legs.
So we saw Kangura not too long ago taking a very well-judged catch.
Yo, man, you
Paul Palmer remarks the guard.
keep bowling the ball across the guy, man.
And Matt, in this part of the world, you take the chalk and you try to get some mark on the synthetic surface. Other parts of the world, you'll probably take the pegs on your boots for turf. A bit of different. So this over's taking Kangura some time to really get going. There we go. That's the mark with the chalk. It looks a beautiful minor league stump.
So Exton Park, home of the Philadelphians. And we're here for the 2022 Philly Summer Cricket Festival.
Yes, Matt. What was your first impression when you came to this ground last year? I thought, if I remember correctly, we came for the Empire State Titans Philadelphians game. What was your first thought when you entered the complex here?
Definitely was a lot of space, I'll tell you that. Lots of room to do so much here at Exton Park. And we've definitely used a lot of that space here today to fit so many fans, so many supporters, people from all across the country.
Yeah, Matt, you're right on that. Take a look at what's happening out on the parking lot. Speaking of that, Toyota Tundra. What a vehicle this is. And in the background there, a lot of activities going on, big crowd on hand. And it really runs well on Sunoco petrol, I'll tell you that. So big day here for the Philadelphians. Their Philly Cricket Festival happening quality over so far here from Kangura. Matt, we have seen some contrasting size of ground. I know the Staten Island Cricket Club in New York celebrating 150 years as a cricket club. And you've gone there several times. That probably would have to be one of the smaller ground we have really been to. When you compare that to Exton Park, of course.
Oh, no.
Exton Park, definitely one of the premier venues here in the Northeast, as we see Yash Kangura pulling out. So over's taken some bit of time for Kangura.
Yeah, the umpire on your screen is Rashane Samuel. The fact is, not only the cricketers travel from all parts of the United States, Rashane comes in from the Atlanta region. We've seen him so many times down south. So ball cut away. This has been a quality over here from Yash Kangura. In fact, it comes to an end. And after 8, 2 runs off that over is 68 for 3. So the Philly Summer Cricket Festival well and truly on. 2 jam-packed day of cricket, Matt. Double headers on both days. Stallions comes back tomorrow. Philadelphians will be playing again.
Oh, the 3 Lions sported by that man right there. still some time to go for that World Cup. Still a couple of months away.
All right, Matt, and while I have you here, what's your pick for Qatar? What's your pick for Qatar?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Unfortunately, I won't be supporting that man, the 3 Lions. Don't think England will do that quite well in Qatar.
I know
in terms of winning it, at least. Millind is back. His first over would have gone for 2.
So Paul Palmer will be on strike. Paul Palmer, highest score this year has been 63 against the New England Eagles. And we also saw he got a 33 against another team, so he gets a single out towards the onside. This has been a very good partnership developing here. Some 22 runs, very important, 72 to win. A win for Stallions here will give them a bit of an upper hand. They will top the table. And Yorkers is playing tomorrow. Philadelphians badly need some points to make that last push towards the latter part of this tournament. Seen some tidy stuff here. We saw a very tidy over from Yash Kangura. And we've seen a very good start here from Milind Kumar, Matt, 69 for 3.
While we are here for the cricket at Exton Park, we'll tell you right here in Exton, Pennsylvania, they have got a current NFL starting quarterback who would have been born right here in Exton. So you see a couple of runs taken by Deep Patel. Matt Ryan, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, now with the Indianapolis Colts, was born right here in Exton, Pennsylvania. So definitely producing athletes in various different sports here.
Yeah, good running from Deep Patel and Paul Palmer. In the end, a couple more runs here for the Stallions. They need 70 more to win this match from 69 balls. And yeah, so Deep Patel seems to be done at the moment for the time being, but may have really stressed those muscles out by running a very quick 2 with Paul Palmer. 70 to win from 69 balls.
I've always wondered, what is in Magic Spray? It works like a charm every time.
And I was asking you the other day, have you pulled a hamstring, Matt? You've never pulled a hamstring? You haven't played enough, and you heard your Saturday team not doing too well also. Is it because you've been taken away to do minor league? You're not part of the setup. You guys are. When you're not losing, you're forfeiting.
Well, we've done. Last time I checked, we've done fairly well today so far.
Well, no injury there at all. They look pretty healthy. Enjoying some beverage there. Here we go. Man picks up the bigger can. Look at that. That's a big can. A lot of crowds here watching this game. They've really showed up in their hundreds. So Deep Patel, he's already tempted to win. So ball cut away into the offside, and Stallions, they come 69 runs away from another win. Very impressive showing last year, Matt. We saw them in Morrisville, taking on the Empire State Titans in a very good game, and then of course later on playing the Silicon Valley Strikers. So a couple more runs here off the bat of Paul Palmer this time. And the Stallions are beginning to probably form a big partnership here of 27 between the pair out in the middle. And it comes down to run a ball 67 to win.
Yeah.
So that will complete over number 9. And after 9, New Jersey Stallions, they're batting a 74 for 3.
At the end of 9 overs of play, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 74 runs for a loss of 3 wickets.
So good rebuild here by Palmer and Deep Patel, partnership of 27. It's come off 24 deliveries, which is just all that the Stallions need at the moment. 67 from 66 deliveries.
Yeah, Matt, solid partnership being put together. You look at the partnership so far. In fact, this one is second to Mukamala and Anthony Bramble at the top of the order. There we go. Sunoco, Dafa News, and young cricketers, young sportsmen and women. They do go together. They're watching this game with some bit of intensity, and their days will come at some point, Mato.
Yeah, definitely. The US vastly improving in both the men's and women's game. Kangura is back. No, an over that would have gone for 2 from him. Deep Patel on 10, Palmer 17. It's been pretty quiet from these two, but quiet is what the Stallions would like. They haven't lost a wicket in some bit of time, but they also haven't gotten a boundary in some bit of time. Last one coming in the 7th over.
Yeah, Matt, a boundary is not entirely what they need. They just need about 6 runs and over to bring this home. So Paul Palmer and Deep Patel certainly knows the importance of picking up 1s and 2s. And then, of course, the boundaries will come at some point. We saw when Bramble and Mukamala, Dominic Ricky batted at the top of the order. So a little bit, saw a lot of boundaries here and there, but Paul Palmer and Deep Patel just making sure that they're building a good partnership, a partnership of 29, 65 to win.
1 wicket away, come on, let me hear you guys, come on. Only 1 wicket away. There's only 1 away, boys.
So 140 posted by the Philadelphians. We saw 125 posted earlier by the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. A play and a miss, and the ball goes through to Jonathan Fu. Still 65 to win.
2 to go. Playing a miss from Deep Patel through to Jonathan Fu. Wonder what JKJJ means.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. We're here for another day or so, right? This has been a quality over game from Kangura. Just a couple of runs. The first over would have gone for 2. Another play and a miss. In fact, wide is the call from Samuels. Jonathan Fu can't believe that one. Take a look.
I bet if you put a bat on that, it would have been up in the air. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, a bit of a swing and a cut on the wicket. So in the end, umpire Samuel says it's a wide. Extras have been quite on the low side, Matt. Only 3 extras, 2 wides and 1 no ball. So this partnership pushes up to 31. Very good between Palmer and Deep Patel. Still 63 to win. Take a look at this one. And that's a nice drive. Deep Patel. We saw him batting excellently last week in New York, Matt. That form has certainly continued here at Exton Park. Stallions, they're up on 12 points. They've played 8, they've won 6, they've lost 2. They've lost to the Manhattan Yorkers twice. This one is played in the air. They're running for a couple of runs. Yes! And catch taken. So that's the end of Paul Palmer. And another wicket goes down, 78 for 4.
Yeah, Palmer looking to go big. Didn't get hold of it. Skying one and a simple catch for Liam Plunkett. And Yash Kangura strikes. The partnership is broken. Palmer goes.
So safe hands of Liam Plunkett, and that completes over number 10. And after 10, on the stroke of 10 overs, is 78 for 4.
The New Jersey Stallions have scored 78 runs for a loss of 4 wickets. They require 63 runs in 10 overs to win the match. The Stallions are chasing a target of 141 runs.
So as Hiran Patel comes to the middle, so does Brian. Brian, welcome back. We're beginning to see a bit of fight back here from the Philadelphians, but 63 runs to win. Where's your money?
Well, I would probably say slightly to the edge of the New Jersey Stallions, and they've seemed to have their way with pretty much all of the Philadelphian bowlers, with the exception of Tristan Carmichael, who came through with those 3 big wickets. This is my first time actually seeing him in person. Been very impressed, and I can see why the Philadelphians targeted him during the offseason to bring him into this bowling attack. So we'll have to see how they do. It's a little more than a run a bowl at 63 with 60 balls remaining to do it.
So the partnership of 31 comes to an end. Paul Palmer and Deep Patel. So now the reset goes back to 0 as Hiran Patel comes to the middle. Milind Kumar, the captain. In fact, Abdul Jabbar, has been given the ball, and Jabbar comes in here with 63 runs to win, Brian.
Yeah, and he's a good bowler. We've seen him earlier in the season. He can really attack the battery here, and there is the possibility. Deep Patel, very, very good at what he does, and this game isn't over on either sets of the imagination. Either result still possible.
So Jabbar, ball played into the offside. Easy single here for Deep Patel. Brings the equation down 62 to win from 59 balls. Abdul Jabbar over bowler number 6 to be used here, certainly by Milind Kumar. And we've seen the importance of spin in the earlier match. Brian, perhaps this could be one of the turner of this game.
Bang, bang here, sticks down, boys.
Ball cut away here by Hiran Patel.
Run him out!
Could come back for a couple of runs. Good looking shot from Hiran.
Yeah, really good. You mentioned the spin. We mentioned a lot of earlier in the match for DC Hawks to be able to put them in the position that they did, where they were able to get the win. And yeah, especially on this wicket, this artificial wicket, you know, spin is very important. It is very unpredictable, so we'll have to see how this goes. But they need a wicket to break and really get into the tail.
So we saw Hiran Patel. He's part of the squad as a wicket keeper. Well, we've seen the acquisition of Mario Rampersad.
Ball, mate. Great stuff.
And then later on, they've decided to go with Jonathan Fu to play that extra batsman.
Yeah, it's interesting that they haven't utilized him. He is very handy with the bat.
That's beautiful.
That one is worked to the offside. It will scamper through for a single.
But Hiran Patel gets a chance today, playing as a batsman. 59 to win from 55 balls. Asking 6.4. They're going at 7.5, so it's slightly ahead with the run rate and required rate, but still cricket left in this game.
Yeah, plenty on either side, but they're going to need a boundary, pretty much at least one boundary every over.
So that will complete over number 11, and after 11 it's 82 for 4.
Required rate is bumping up. Let's keep bumping up the required.
After 11 overs, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 82 runs for a loss of 4 wickets. They required 59 runs in 9 overs to win the match.
Welcome back to the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket season, presented by Sunoco, as Deep Patel and Hiran Patel trying to help steer the New Jersey Stallions home. Great job by Anthony Bramble, the wicketkeeper, to put on 41 as part of that opening partnership. You see the worm, they are just ahead of where the Philadelphians were after 12 overs. This wasn't over, as you can see, where they lost a wicket, but the Stallions on the pace to win and try and stay in the race for first place and one of the 2 playoff spots out of this Eastern Division in minor league cricket.
Yeah, they've run out of cheers, it appears, Brian, but lovely place to watch the game. Weather's absolutely beautiful here in Exton Park, Philadelphia. Lots to eat in the parking lot. I took a walk there, Brian, and
I want to know what you had.
Well, the aroma, the aroma to start with attracted me to the food truck. So Kangura continues. He's been very good, Kangura. He's coming in to bowl to Hiran Patel, one of the newcomers to the middle. Still 59 to win.
In true Philadelphia fashion, I had a cheesesteak whiz with, chicken cheesesteak actually. It's very good. But yeah, this day has been magnificent. There's a number of people who have headed home for the afternoon, but still a fair bit of people cheering on their Philadelphians. It's a mostly partisan crowd.
And the Philadelphians they need points, challenging the fielder for a couple of runs in the end. Couple of runs here for Hiran Patel. Good here for the Stallions.
Yeah, good running between the wickets, and that's where they're going to get. That's where this game's going to be won and lost, is the ability to be able to take some of these extra runs off of ground balls. They don't have to go and hit sixes with every ball, even though it will make things a lot comfortable. But just being able to get those here and there.
Yeah, a couple of runs there from Hiran Patel and Deep Patel. Boys are running well, putting pressure on the fielder. Hiran has looked pretty fluent, Brian. He has just come out to the middle, but it has taken him no time at all to get among the runs, and he's running pretty well.
Yeah, very well, and you can sense when somebody comes in, they're already switched on. And when you come in at number 6, you have to be switched on. You don't have the luxury, even though they do still need 56 off the final, 51. There's no time. You want to get this, get the points, and go home.
Yeah, good batting by Hiren Patel and D. Patel. They realize the situation only requires perhaps 5 and 6 and 7 runs and over. And they're doing just that at the moment. Good batting from the pair out in the middle.
Yeah, good sensible batting is what's required here. That's why they are where they are and why they've had such success over the season plus here in the Toyota minor league cricket season presented by Sunoco.
And Brian, they're doing exactly what the Toyota motto says. Let's go places. They'll go places. With ones and twos. Cut away. That's a good looking shot from Hiren Patel running up towards the point boundary. And look at that, crosses the rope. That's a good looking shot.
That's a great looking shot, and that's how you get fours when the grass is long. You just have to hit it a long way. As we look at it again, got a thick top edge. That one goes to third man and runs all the way down for a boundary through the grass, through all of the thickets there, and four, and that takes them on to 90 for 4 as the target grows closer.
Yeah, lovely shot from Hiren Patel. And he'll probably want to grab the opportunity, Brian, of getting a chance to play. He's been on the bench for some time. A pull that doesn't go too well, but that will complete over number 12. 8 runs off that over. That's a good over here for the Stallions. 90 for 4.
Back here at Exton Park with 48 balls remaining. New Jersey Stallions require 51 from it. Alongside Lenny Archabar, I'm Brian Barish. Absolutely beautiful day for cricket. And there's more cricket here tomorrow with here at Exton Park. We've got 2 games as these same New Jersey Stallions will take on the DC Hawks, and the Philadelphians will have to take on the Manhattan Yorkers, who are still battling at the top of the table alongside these Stallions. And Lenny, you know, it's great that we have all of these matches here. Not only is it cricket, and it's high-level cricket, but these are very, very important games as we draw towards the 18 finals, which begin the weekend of August 20th.
Yes, Brian, we would have started with 197 matches slated for the tournament. And so far, I was making the point with Matt that we haven't had any interruptions on the Atlantic side.
No, not at all. Most of them come from the south, and from the central. There's been rain in the middle of the country, but not here, thankfully. And as we mentioned today, an absolutely beautiful day for cricket. It probably could have been about 10 degrees cooler, but beggars can't be choosers.
So Plunkett comes back into the attack, ball turned into the onside. Good looking shot here from D. Patel. Running quickly as if he wanted a couple of runs, but good bit of fielding there.
So this is the first time I've called Liam Plunkett. You know, watching him, the impact that he makes to this side, watching him in that very, very first game against Morrisville, the first ball he bowled swung in with such veracity in on the bowler. It was a sight to see as this one is cut to the offside and will roll, and it will go all the way for a 4. And Plunkett trying to aim for the 4th stump on the outside, and a good job by Patel to be able, by Hiren Patel, to go with it and just cut it away for another boundary.
Yeah, another good looking shot from the Stallions batter, Hiren Patel. He's playing a very good hand here, Brian. Look at that. VIP area. Have you taken a walk to the VIP area? I did. Got a couple of sandwiches there. Oh, he comes down the track. Hasn't gone anywhere. Jonathan Fu settles under it, takes the catch. Hiren Patel falls. Maybe a careless looking shot. 95 for 5.
That's what Plunkett does. He induces into those type of shots. As Plunkett induces another wicket, that is his first for the loss of 10, and the New Jersey Stallions are 95 for 5.
Take a look at this one. Hiren Patel, not too sure what he was thinking, and ill-advised shot, Brian. They were going so pretty well, so Wicket falls 95 for 5.
The New Jersey Stallions are now at 95 runs for 5 wickets. They require 46 runs in 7.3 overs to win the match.
So Raymond Ramratan comes to the middle. Player of the match last week in New York. Had a very good knock. He's a quality bowler. And he comes in here with 46 to win.
A 46 from 45, still basically a run of ball. But if they can keep these wickets falling, you know, as they head into the tail, it really will turn the screws on this Stallion side.
So Plunkett has come back, made a breakthrough. He's picked up his first wicket. We saw Carmichael taking 3. We saw Kangura getting 1. So a bit of sprinkled performance from the bowling team, the Philadelphians, except Carmichael. So Deep Patel on strike. And he gets a very good ball here from the former international, Liam Plunkett. Still 46 to win, Brian.
Not quite Oprah status where it's like you get a wicket, you get a wicket, you get a wicket. And it's interesting when you do look at scorecards and you see, you know, 6 teams use 6 bowlers and they all get at least 1 wicket. But Carmichael doing a fantastic job. And this is the sort of team where, you know, the bowling attack, they can get at least 1 player with a wicket.
So ball eased into the offside. Will bring Raymond Ramratan in strike for the first time, 45 to win. Liam Plunkett, test cap number 628, Brian. His one-day cap will read 190. And his T20 international cap, 89. So a man who's represented England pretty well in all 3 formats of the game.
And to have somebody like that, we mentioned that earlier today with Nikhil. To have that as part of minor league cricket, to have that as part of this system is insanely positive.
So Ramratan gets a quality delivery. This has been a very good over here from Liam Plunkett. It comes to an end. And 13 overs gone, 96 for 5.
New Jersey Stallions have scored 96 runs for a loss of 5 wickets. They now require 45 runs in 7.1 overs to win the match.
Come on, let we go, guys. Let we go.
Back here at Exton Park, so we take a look at the dual Manhattans. It's kind of like New York versus Philadelphia. But you can see there where the New Jersey Stallions, they got most of their runs in and around the power play. It's dried up with those wickets. And now as we head into this 14th over, they need 45 from 42. As we take a look at the new bowler taking the ball, it is Chiru Bhatia. And Bhatia earlier this season picking up a fifer here in the opening game of the season against the New England Eagles. And he will want to help duplicate that as he gave up 19 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, or rather just the 19 runs rather. So the Philadelphians are, you know, it's still winnable from here. They're going to need to continue to slow down this run rate. They need 6.43. They have 6.43. They require 7.38.
So yes, Brian, Deep Patel will be on strike. Chiru Bhatia starts well with a dot ball. Games tomorrow will see the DC Hawks taking on the Stallions. So the Stallions will have to turn over their rest pretty early. Brian, they'll have to get in early tonight, maybe by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it'll be. You're gonna need to keep the dinner reservations early.
So Chiru Bhatia starts pretty well. Very historic area for cricket. When you read the history of certainly U.S. cricket, Philadelphia becomes so prominent. Bart King, we talked We talked a little bit earlier about Bart King, Staten Island in New York, celebrating 150 years, but the likes of Haverford and Marion County, maybe 180 plus years, Brian. Ball cut away. This has been a very quality over here from Shiro Bhatia.
Yeah, very quality, and he's really come into the fore and can change it. But yeah, as you mentioned, Lenny, there's a lot of history here. In fact, we mentioned that library in Haverford. The docent of that is actually here with a number of bats. The Bradman bat is here. I saw there was a couple of people that were taking some of the pictures of just part of this beautiful festival of cricket that the Philadelphians and minor league cricket have put together here. And, you know, it's great that there are events like this. It would be cool to have more events. We had the one in Houston last weekend, and it'll be interesting to see more and how it goes the rest of the season and beyond.
So playing a miss, ball outside the off stump, 4-dot ball. Continuing coverage of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. Take a look at this one. Ball outside the off stump, playing a miss, a stretch here from Deep Patel, still 45 to win.
Bhatia probably a little bit fortunate that wasn't called a wide, but I never question umpires. Never.
So the umpires on show today, we've seen Rashane Samuels, we've seen Ritesh Patel earlier on. And today we are seeing Mihir Patel. A couple of umpires out of New Jersey, one from Atlanta. Oh, that's a good looking shot. Look at that. Quality looking shot from Deep Patel, and that has gone away for 4. So that brings up the 100 here for the Stallions, and it comes in the 14th over of a lovely shot from Deep Patel. Look at that.
Yeah, lovely shot. Just went with the grain of the delivery and sends that one to the mid wicket, and that gets them, or rather to cover to the other side. That takes them to the 100, and now they need 41 from the final 37.
Quality over from Shiro Bhatia up until that ball. And this one in the air. Fielder comes in, takes the catch, and Deep Patel is gone. It's 100 for 6.
What a nice catch. That one hung up in the air and finally able to catch Deep Patel on a mistake. And yeah, they needed that wicket, and that's going to make things very, very interesting as we see the ball was short, came up around the nose, so to speak, and that one is snaffled and taken away. They are 100 for 6.
So 14 overs gone, it's 100 for 6. Deep Patel gone. So what a day we've had.
Pressure's on here now.
So Nino Henry comes to the middle. Still 41 to win. 2 new batters out in the middle.
Okay, don't pressure me, man. Come on. I need this win. I need this win.
So 100 for 6. Nino Henry comes to join Raymond Ramratan. 41 to win from 36 balls. Brian, still cricket left in this one. Philadelphians fighting back.
Plenty of cricket left, and you know, Nino Henry putting in such a great effort with the ball to put the Stallions in the position that they are in. And you know, we've seen some great bowling on both the games today. We've seen some fantastic bowling.
So Abdul Jabbar comes into the attack. He gives up a run. And this game is coming down to what happened in New York last week. Similar scenario. And Raymond Ramratan got them out of trouble. We'll have to wait and see how this evolves. So Raymond Ramratan comes in to strike. Abdul Jabbar comes into the Philadelphians. Brian, don't know if you recall, he would have come across from the DC Hawks last year.
Yeah, one of a couple of in the scramble around this Eastern Division, players changing hands. It's interesting also to see some of the players that have gone cross-division.
Yeah, we saw Mario Rampersad coming all the way from the West Coast to an Atlantic team. And in fact, we've seen several of those if you really follow the minor league circuit. There's been some really big, long migration.
Justin Dill, we mentioned in the last one, I think going from DC to St. Louis, I believe, is where he landed.
So chance of a run out. Carmichael doesn't perhaps get the ball quick enough. 3 runs in this over so far from Abdul Jabbar.
Yeah, I think he's back in safe here, but it was would have been very hairy times here. We'll see this one.
How many more runs?
Yeah,
ooh. Good. Yeah, bats right there down, I think. What is it, tie goes to the runner?
Yeah, good work there from Carmichael.
That's all right, back up.
So this has been a very good over here from Abdul Jabbar. Only 4 runs off this over. But you get the feeling, Brian, even 4 and 5 runs, that's exactly what the Stallions will need. So no big problems there at all.
No, not at all, and they're able to get it. As that one is slapped down to the onside, they will come through for another single. That's the end of the 15th over. Philadelphians, or the New Jersey Stallions, are 105 for 6.
Get to the run out.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Exton Park in Exton, Pennsylvania, as Nikhil joins us to take you through the final overs of this match. The New Jersey Stallions closing in on the victory, but running into a stout Philadelphia attack, led, of course, earlier by Trinson Carmichael's 3 wickets. The Stallions sitting at 105 for 6, and Badia is back with the ball for the Philadelphians.
Seriously well-poised game this between these two teams, both desperate for a win. Nino Henry, Raymond Ramrattan, 2 very capable batters at the crease. Many will not know, but Nino Henry plays as an all-rounder in Antigua for his New Wintrops Lions club back in Antigua, would have just played in the Cool and Smooth T20 tournament. And alongside him, well, Raymond Ramrattan, no explanation needed. He's purposely been kept back because of that extra depth he's able to provide.
It's great when you can have a batter like him come in at number 8.
And here Liam Plunkett, very animated through the stump mics, trying to urge his team. If they can just get 1 more wicket, you think they'll be in such a good position to win this game. Again, though, we've seen this batting collapse pretty much throughout the day, where teams have been in really good stead, in really good position to win the game. The Philadelphians, where they were cruising at one stage, they were 104 for 5 after 15 overs, and then completely just capitulated to be dismissed for 140. Lost 5 wickets with just 35 runs. And then on the flip side of things, the Stallions, who were very comfortable, have to reball that one. The Stallions at one stage 68 for 3 after 8 overs. Now they find themselves in deep trouble, 107 for 6.
But still a very winnable position. It's just a matter of them getting, but it could really go either way. 1 big over, and the Stallions will have it. If the Philadelphians can take a wicket here, then it'll be very difficult.
You know, it's a deep batting lineup, probably one of the deepest of the tournament for the Stallions, because they still have Jasdeep Singh, the captain, to come, who's very capable with the bat in hand. Have seen him bat at number 5 at times for this team. 2 is the call.
All right, back up.
You get it pretty easily, but I think the key will be that these two just remain at the crease, because they're scoring at over 7 runs and over, which is what's required at this stage.
Yeah, they don't need to be too panicky at the moment. they can take the 1s and 2s, especially on this field that is very conducive for higher runs when you hit it into the outfield because the ball dries in the grass.
Two very exciting games also coming up tomorrow from Exton Park in this Festival of Cricket. The Stallions up against the DC Hawks. And of course, later in that day, the Manhattan Yorkers taking on the home team, the Philadelphians. Sort of a prime time game. Change of pace and just beating the bat, the outside edge of Ramrattan. And by tomorrow evening, Brian will have a real clear indication of the teams who are in good stead to qualify for those 2 playoff positions out of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, we really will. And that match, those matches tomorrow, especially with DC winning today, that match against the Stallions, you know, now the Hawks, we talked about it in the earlier game, Nikhil. If they win that one, they'll have a sweep on the weekend, and they will put some pressures at the teams at the top.
Aerial, mid-off up in the circle, should be taken, it is. And what a big wicket that is for the Philadelphians. Could there be one final twist to the tail? Wasn't necessary at this stage. They were well in control. Nino Henry's dejected.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have played that shot, but well done by the fielder to get underneath of it and cause a dismissal. And now the doubts start to creep in a little bit more into the heads of the men in red and black.
I think he rolled his fingers over that one. Shiranshu Bhatia and Nino Henry, knowing mid-off up in the circle, tried to take him on. Just held out. Disappointing return for him. He's gone for 6. And now, never know, 110 for 7. The captain, Jasdeep Singh, comes to the middle. And you think it's really dependent on these two for the Stallions. It's usually a very strong batting lineup with the amount of names, also the depth that they have. When Anthony Bramble was dismissed, they were 47 for 3, going well above the asking rate. A big partnership between Paul Palmer and Deep Patel. We thought 31 between them. They were well on their way, well on course to get this 140, but they just continuously lost wickets. A lot on the captain's shoulders, Jasdeep Singh.
I love it. Over the top. Hold it.
Yeah, that's all that's needed though from the Stallions. Just need to push it around because you will get those boundary scoring options and those deliveries. End of 16, an eventful over, wicket coming in it. 111 for 7.
7 wickets. They require 30 runs in the next 4 overs to win the match.
Bramble was brilliant at the top, 41 from just 21. Paul Palmer got to 18. Heron Patel also in double figures, but just losing the wickets at the wrong time. Carmichael's been brilliant in his very first game bowling for the Philadelphians. Picked up 3 wickets early on. Bhatia will still have another over remaining. It'll be interesting to see if Milind Kumar, the captain, goes back to him. Carmichael has 1. And Kanguro also with solitary over remaining. Good to see the crowd out, the youth in their numbers in this Philadelphia Festival of Cricket.
Yeah, there were some clinics being put on earlier. We saw Liam Plunkett out there playing with them, the next generation of cricketers, perhaps.
Back me up. Bowler here.
Almost taken by that extra cover fielder. Very lucky for Jasdeep Singh, who just gets off the mark, the captain.
Bars, boy. Yo, you got pressure to keep
Nice snag by Fu as well. That could have easily been overthrows.
Come on, boys. No, push him for 6. Wait, left arm round.
So Mohammed bowling his 3rd over. Just been very economical, just conceded the 10 runs so far. But you think something will give at some stage. Can bide their time. 29 needed from 19 deliveries. With every dot ball, pressure will be mounting on Raymond Ramratan. And the Philadelphians will know they're one good delivery away from breaking this partnership and eating into that tail of the Stallions.
Yeah, and as much as you've mentioned how deep this batting lineup is, they don't want to have to leave the games into the hands of their 9th and 10s.
Yeah. Back me up. 1-1. Keeper.
I can tell you the Philadelphians, they like to make things complicated for themselves. I think the Stallions probably as well. In this Eastern Conference, things have just been so tight. But the Philadelphians were involved in 2 super over matchups. One against the Cavaliers, which they won, and then one against the Morrisville Raptors, which was lost. That one was at Church Street Park, so he's really taken it to the wire. And it also helps them in this situation because they'll be knowing at the back of their mind that if they take the game into the last over, anything is possible.
Yeah, and that game last Saturday, that chase, I think, was excruciating almost if you were a Philadelphians fan. They needed 12 off the final 30.
Off the outside edge, just one though. Good fielding. You can see the energy is increased from the Philadelphians in the last couple of overs, sensing that they have to be on their toes, ready for any opportunity to pounce on. Looking to be a bit crafty, Jasdeep Singh. Fortunate.
It's a circus shot, in a sense.
That's good. Yeah, no, I want to rush it. How many more runs?
Jonathan Fu, you can hear him through the stop mics. He's very animated. Thick Guyanese accent. Oh, look at that. Much slower this time from Mohammed. This is good bowling from him. A big swing and a miss, looking for the sweep shot. Raymond Ramratan. End of the over, 115 for 7.
After 17 overs, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 115 runs for a loss of 7 wickets. They required 27 runs in
Well, tomorrow at Exton Park, continuing in this festival of cricket. Boy, has it been special. The Stallions up against the DC Hawks. That is a thriller. Currently 2nd v 3rd in this Eastern Conference. And then the primetime game later in the day, the Philadelphians, the home team, up against the Manhattan Yorkers, who we'll see for the first time this weekend. Should be an exciting, mouth-watering day of cricket, especially if the weather helps. We've had a great support, great fans in at Exton Park, and they've been treated now to a good finish. This one could go either way, with now the Stallions, who of course are looking for their 7th win of this tournament, need 26 from 3. You think probably would be manageable, but they've already lost 7 wickets. That's the key.
Let me take my time and make a right decision, please.
Yeah, again, you don't want to leave this to the tail. The Philadelphians were able to do it last week against DC. The Stallions, as we mentioned, a bit of a deeper tail, but they would rather get it done now with these 2 men in the crease.
Yeah, this is interesting, though, going back to Shiranshu Bhatia. 30 runs conceded in his 3 overs. They did have an over. They do have an over of Kangura, who's bowled 3 for 14, picked up a wicket. Milind Kumar, the captain himself, just 2 overs for 8 runs. Carl Michaels bowled 3, picked up 3 wickets as well. Good start, though, from Shiranshu Bhatia.
When you use 6 bowlers like that, the fact that they've all now, you don't know if you're the batting team who you're going to face. And that is a bit of an advantage for the bowling side because you've got all these weapons at your disposal.
Yeah, I probably expect Liam Plunkett to bowl the next over. 2 is the call. Gonna have to hurry back. Ramratan, does he get there in the end? Just makes it home, but I thought it was pretty tight. Closer than he would have expected.
Yeah, very, very close, but I do think he got back on the naked eye. We'll look at it again.
You can see they're just getting home. He's quick between the wickets, Ramratan. These 2 have a great understanding as well. Jesse Singh and Ramratan. 9 wickets already for Ramratan. He's been such a good all-rounder. 129 runs in this tournament, averaging over 30 and striking at 135. Couldn't ask for much better from your experienced player, but he's got to finish the job off. A wicket here could be dangerous for the chances of the Stallions. Doing the right thing, though. Just minimizing the risks being taken. Knowing that they're in touching distance of this total 23 needed now for victory.
And it's very gainable if they are aggressive in the last 2.5 overs. But again, you still have, as you mentioned, I think Plunkett, you will definitely see him bowl either the 19th or the 20th, which is interesting because he was never a death bowler bowling for England. It seemed like, at least that's what the consensus was. He was always in the middle, never really considered in that frame of the game.
Aerial. And it doesn't carry to that fielder down at fine leg. Wanted two, Ramratan. They want him to go for the catch as well, the fielder down at fine leg. Just like Hayat Khan.
One for the overskip. Bowler, one for the overskip. Wet.
Yeah, there's a Philadelphians lineup. Of course, without a very important player in Kareem Agor, who picked up an injury a couple weeks ago. He's such a crucial all-rounder, the international USA player. His left arm spin, his batting exploits, and of course his fielding ability. He's been a huge miss for this team and showed in their performances, sitting in 5th position at 4-4. You just think about the impact Gore makes in all 3 facets of the game. He'll be a big miss for this team, and one that they'll hope to get back very soon. Had 112 runs in the 4 matches he played, as well as 5 wickets. So did it all for this Philadelphians team, but they've had to look elsewhere to find replacements. Very tough to replace, though, one of your local players who carries that much significance for your team. Pace off from Bhatia, just squeezes it over the infield. They want 2. Carmichael's quick, but they can't prevent the double, so we're now flows past 120. And we'll end the over with that too. So 122 for 7 after 18. 19 runs needed from the final 2 overs.
122 runs. They require 19 runs in 2 overs with 3 wickets remaining.
Whoa, helmet's going out, right?
Well, this could go either way. Just what you want at the Festival of Cricket here in Pennsylvania, where we've got 2 teams desperate, hungry for a victory. When you look at both the Stallions being 6-2, Brian, but for the Philadelphians, the home team, who've really struggled in this tournament to find that consistency, boy, do they need a win.
They do, because if they don't, and then they have to deal with the first place Yorkers tomorrow. If they even a split, I don't think is really ideal. They were hoping to come out with 2, and that will help the teams at the bottom as well, because it will really open it up in what is, as we've mentioned a couple of times, the most competitive division in this minor league cricket competition.
Well, no surprises to see Liam Plunkett bowling the penultimate over. How many can they restrict this over to?
Let's go batter.
Plenty of options for Milind Kumar to go to in that last over. Does he go back to the spin of Abdul Mohammed, who's only conceded 13 runs in history?
Right arm over.
His 2 seamers have been used. Kangura also having an over, just 14 runs and a wicket for him. Because of their spinners doing so well and keeping it so tight, it's allowed them to get to this stage of the innings to keep it tight, which could easily go in the favor of the Philadelphians. 19 from 2 overs. Jesse Singh on strike. The captain gets it well. Just past extra cover, wants to. And these 2 are very quick between the wickets. So it'll be very hard to keep them from running 2, especially on a slowish outfield.
Yeah, and that's where speed really comes into play on a field like this. We've mentioned that the grass is a little bit longer in that area around the boundary, so they are going to try and take advantage of it. They got to hit the ball hard, and if they do that, even if they do it by way of the boundary, they'll get over the line.
You have to wonder though, how much can they defend in that final over? We've already seen them be part of 2 super overs. They won't want to be part of another one, I can tell you that. In terms of the fans, they would love that. To see a super over. It would probably be the perfect end to what has been a fantastic day of cricket here at Exton Park. We've had fans out, great support, also some good cricket as well. Perfect end in prime time
If we go to a super over again, I blame Nate Hayes because he called 2 of them in Morrisville. And he's lurking around here somewhere, so I blame...
Yeah, Nate giving us that fantastic insight before every single game, part of the MLC network, and all the fantastic work he's done. And he mentioned the importance of this game for the Philadelphians this weekend overall, for Liam Plunkett, Milind Kumar, and this team. But they've got to produce something spectacular if they're to defend these 16 runs, because these 2 batters at the crease are more than capable, and you think they may just be 1 boundary away. Swing and a miss, dot ball, crucial dot ball for Plunkett.
He went to try and hit an 8. That was how much he was swinging.
You can see there, going wide, looking for that wide Yorker. Ram Rattan trying to make room. This is a chess match happening at the moment at Exton Park. Ram Rattan hasn't quite been his usual free-flowing self, but the main thing is that he stayed there. But the key thing will be that he finishes the job for his team. Can't give it away now, can't afford to at least. In the gap by Raymond Ram Rattan, it will be runs. You always knew that they were just 1 boundary away from bringing this situation to a much more simple equation. And now with that boundary, they go to just 12 needed. Crucial.
2 6s will do it, but yeah, that's what they needed. And Plunkett getting probably a little bit careless with that delivery, but well handled through for a 4.
That's what you want from your experienced players. Ram Rattan was there for 12 deliveries. He's seen a lot. And just waiting on that right opportunity to pounce against the bowling of Liam Plunkett. Great stuff from the Stallions. It's been a reason why they've been different in this Eastern Conference. When you look at sort of the importance for the Stallions of a Sachin Rapu in terms of what he was able to do, 2 for 9, but Anthony Bramble, the way he started is showing the value. 41 from 21 on a surface that hasn't been the easiest for batting. Top scorer of the innings for the Stallions.
He's had a fabulous game too, especially with the gloves, taking a couple of really nice catches.
Took 2 behind the stumps as well. So Liam Plunkett, can he close this over out with a wicket, which would leave them with 11 to defend from the final 6 deliveries, which could go either way. It's going down to the wire. Don't touch your remote. Don't move out of your seat. Final delivery of the over. Goes full again, looking to attack the stumps. 2 is the call. Gonna have to hurry though. Going to the dangerous end. And Jesse Singh, who was hesitant at first, gets back for 2. Good awareness from Ram Rattan. And it will mean that 9 will be required from the final 6 balls. 132 for 7.
After 19 overs, the New Jersey Stallions have scored 132 runs. They require 9 runs in this final over to win the match.
9 runs needed from the final over. It's been because of this. Good work at the top by Bramble, getting 41 from 21.
Come on, let me go, lads. Let me go. It's not a picnic.
And it shows you the importance of what he's been able to do. Can you look at the rest of the batting card? Hasn't been the easiest of surfaces to score on, especially as the day has progressed. You can see some discussion going on in the middle about who will bowl this final over.
Who would you pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
If you're Milind Kumar, who would you pick?
I think you look at it, it would be a very bold move to go to Abdul Mohammed because of sort of the pace that he bowls, much slower through the air, and you think just 2 hits away. I think this is a sensible move though from the captain to go back to Kangura. Not the quickest, but he's bowled extremely well. 1 for 14 in his 3 overs, but can he hold his nerve in this final over? See these 2, well, done well. Just what the team was required. They're 1 step away from picking up their 7th win in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Interesting field. A cover boundary rider. He's got the long on, long off as well. So Kangura, not the fastest of bowlers, but with that bit of extra pace, you think may cause some trouble. Jonathan Fu is at the stumps. Interested to see if he comes up to the stumps. No, he's not. He's going to smartly go back to his mark, because if he does miss any balls there, with third up in the circle, will be a boundary. So Abhijit Kangura with a huge task and huge responsibility on his shoulders. The Philadelphians, they love these last over encounters. They've been here before. 9 to defend. 2 is the call. Can they get back for 2? Sent back pretty smartly by Jesse Singh. It will just be 1. So now 8 from 5. This is going down to the wire with Brian Barish.
Yeah, they need to keep him the 1 here, and that's a great job by the fielders to be able to do that. But you have the feeling that 1 boundary will pretty much put this within fingers length of victory for the New Jersey Stallions. But good job. The fielders need to be alert as they were on that ball.
Yeah, I think Raymond Ramratan and Jesse Singh, you won't feel too pressured by this situation. You know that you're just a boundary away. If you hit 1 boundary, you can find a boundary from somewhere, Brian. You know that the equation then becomes run a ball, which is very easy for 2 very competent batters at the crease. So the key will be, can they find that 1 boundary option? Kangura's got to be very precise. In the air, just short of long off. Milind Kumar is very excited for a moment. Actually did well to stop it in the end. Just another single. 7 from 4.
That's the equation. Keep them to singles and hit that ball very well, but right at the fielders, we see it again. Trying to drive the ball down the field, picked it up on a hop, and you want to hit the ball well to try and run between the wickets, or at least try and find the gap and get the boundary. But they'll take that single.
Ratton, he wants glory. He wants to win this for his team. Again, this time though, the direction's so much better through extra cover, and it will be a boundary. Just what the doctor had ordered for the New Jersey Stallions, who with that boundary and just 3 to win now from 3 balls, they've managed the situation so well, this pair.
Now any boundary will win the game, and that was very well placed. You could tell that they could hit the ball, spray it hard. All they had to do was put it in the right location. They did, and they get the 4.
This is exactly why the Stallions have opted to bat Raymond Ramratan at number 7.
Yeah.
Not because he can't bat up the order. We know he can. He's very capable of batting at number 4 or 5, but because they know his experience and his just know-how of manipulating certain situations can win games for them. Run a ball, 3 needed. Big swing and a miss, and here we go again. Another swing of the pendulum. 3 from 2.
How do you feel about a super over? Oh my goodness. But that's the other thing, is that they are so deep, as you've said, that they can afford to bat him so low and not really lose any of the teeth at the top. Oof.
So still conferences going on all around the venue. The crowd in the middle between the 2 batters and the fielding team. Young man Kangura, does he have 1 more? If he can keep this to a dot or a wicket, Brian, 3 from 1, anything is possible. This is just the finish you wanted in week number 6 of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Who's going to be on the cover of DAFA News? Jonathan Fu, the keeper, very experienced, comes down the trap, has a word with his bowler. If you're Kangura, you want to probably be on a good line. You don't want to be too full. Does get bad on it. He wants to. They're hurrying, they're running. Ramratan going to the danger end. He's so quick. And he gets there in the end. Scores are level. 1 needed from 1.
Here we go again. Will this be the third super over for the Philadelphians, or will the Stallions get out of this one by the hair of their chinny chin chins?
Ramrathan so quick between the wickets, knew exactly what he wanted as soon as he hit it. Now, 1 run from 1 ball. This is truly entertaining stuff for cricket lovers all around the globe, wherever you're watching from in this 2022 Toyota Minor League. This is what this tournament has produced. Now, the Philadelphians, mind you, have been in 2 super overs already in this tournament. Remember that the Stallions have chased in 2 games and they have not lost chasing in this tournament. So, which record would it be? Will the Philadelphians see a third?
No, come on from there. Come here.
What delivery do he bowl? Does he bowl as well? Take a look at the field in terms of what Kangura will work with. It can give you an indication of what he's trying to bowl. He's got 1 fielder, I think, going out into the onside boundary, but you only need 1 from 1. Do tend to see, though, some lone fielders position at the boundary for those release shots. Sometimes with the field in, batters like to take on. I've seen it before where you need 1 from 1 and then you're caught at the boundary.
Yeah.
Pressure on Raymond Ramrathan, but he's batted so superbly to get his team to this position. They can't lose from here, but I'm telling you, they won't want to take this to a super over.
Where literally anything is possible.
So, 1 delivery, 1 run to win for the New Jersey Stallions. Here we go. Full toss, and there it is. Easy for the New Jersey Stallions, just dispatched into the boundary. And it's the reason this team are at the top of the Eastern Conference now. They've just been clinical in the big moments because of their experience. They're runners-up from 2021, and they've deserved this victory. A true clinical performance by the Stallions.
It's a champion's performance by this New Jersey Stallions side. And I'll tell you what, all the fans that came out here as part of this Philadelphia Summer Festival absolutely rewarded by this game as the New Jersey Stallions win off the final ball. They win by 3 wickets. Here is the final delivery once again. It was 1 from 1. It was a full toss, not a very good delivery at all, and it was easily dispatched past the drawn-in infield, and the New Jersey Stallions win another one.
3-wicket win for the Stallions. It's not been easy for any team in this Eastern Conference, but the important thing is that they've got a W. They remain unbeaten chasing in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, and now they go to 7 wins, well on top, and well on top of that Eastern Conference, picking up right where they left off from last season. It was all started from an aggressive approach from Anthony Bramble at the top, 41 from just 21 deliveries. Magnificent to watch. First real innings of significance. Then they lost a couple early wickets. And then Paul Palmer, Deep Patel through the middle, put on a small partnership, but things just got a bit nervy towards the end. It's why they've packed that low order to ensure they had experience to finish games. Jasdeep Singh Ramrathan doing exactly what their team needed, just seeing it to the very final delivery. And whilst it wasn't easy, 34-run partnership between the two helped them get over the line. 3 wickets for Trimson Carmichael in his very first game bowling for the Philadelphians. Bhatia picked up 2, 1 apiece for Kangura and Liam Plunkett, who was brilliant with the new ball. But in the end, the Philadelphians suffering yet another defeat in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, one that probably will hurt their chances of getting to the playoffs, just falling short. And they'll be very disappointed with that. The Philadelphians. Plunkett with his all-round brilliance again, but not enough. They've just been very reliant on him. But here is how New Jersey Stallions went about their run chase. The innings started by Bramble. 4 maximums for Anthony Bramble. And the way he started, first wicket went down. Dominic Rickey just tried to lift one over the infield, found the fielder, but that did not faze Bramble and his power, because he just continued to strike the ball to all parts, struck it over 200. outside the off stump. Big over. Conceded 20 runs, the fourth over from Shiranshu Bhatia. And Bramble was real good next. Kamada came, but short stay at the crease, looking to continue the aggression, following the fielding deep in the onside. Bramble though, very next delivery, smoked it over the ropes, his fourth maximum. And then he just went unnecessary. He was well on top of the situation, they were well on top of the scoring rate, just held out long on. Good catch by Kangura in the end. Michael came and just went inside out for extra cover. And then Paul Palmer and Deep Patel both put on a good partnership between them through the middle overs. And Paul Palmer, he had to go. And then he was dismissed. Liam Plunkett held on to a good catch. Deep Patel played some fine shots. Over third. Another one in the offside. Such a quick bat speed from Deep Patel. Here you thought they were well comfortable and well in charge of this game, but then wickets began to tumble through the middle. That was Deep Patel, he was dismissed. Easy catch in the end for Jonathan Fu. When Raymond Ramratan and Jesse Singh came to the middle, that was the pressure that took the game away. Just, it's really a game of twists and turns, the way that both these teams were well in command, and then the other would just come back into the game. Then Ramratan and Jesse Singh, 34 runs in a winning cause between them. And as they left it late, left it to the final over, they ensured that with all their experience, they ensured that they got over the line. It was a full toss, and that was the final delivery. Easy for Raymond Ramratan in the end. So it means then that the New Jersey Stallions win by a narrow margin, just 3 wickets. And this is what it means now for the Eastern Conference. The Stallions surge to the top of the table, still with 2 games in hand. If they can win tomorrow, they will be in real good stead of repeating what they did in 2021, getting back to those playoffs, and they'll want to get back to a place in that final and do one better, win it all. New Jersey Stallions, and alongside me, a man that was key in their win, Anthony Bramble, 41 from 21. Anthony, first of all, congratulations on a very important performance for your team. How was it out there?
Yeah, firstly, thanks a lot. It was a good game for us. I think we bowled well, picking up early wickets, and for us to just trying to break the run chase down early, and with me giving them the kind of big start, a fast start, really put us in command in the chase.
You mentioned a fast start from you. What has been different today, you think, about your batting? We've seen you sort of get starts in the tournament, but not really able to kick on to your standards. Today, though, you middled 4 big maximums. What was key for you today?
For me, I know I've not been getting the big scores. It's just for me today to really concentrate a lot and try to play my natural game and give the team a really good start to put us in a good position in the run chase.
We've seen you open the batting now in the absence of Akshay Homraj. How much have you enjoyed this role batting inside the power play?
Yeah, it's been a challenging for the first 2 games. I didn't get the team off to the start they were looking at. Today, I really make that count for us, and you can see it put us over the line.
What do you think this win means, Anthony, for your team? Obviously, one of the leaders in the team yourself. What do you think this means now going forward in very important 4 games coming up to close off the group stages?
Yeah, this win put us on top of the table with 5 games to go. It's just for us to continue winning the game and continue doing the things that we do best on the field. And yeah, you Georgie Stallion is a wonderful franchise. It's been run and organized well, so I must give them credit to that and the way the boys then play throughout the competition so far.
Well, Anthony Bramble, thank you very much, and congrats to you. Wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah.
41 from 21, an innings full of destruction from Bramble as he struck 4 sixes inside the power play. Well, for more action, Bramble in action tomorrow as well for the Stallions up against the DC Hawks. That's at 10 a.m. You don't want to miss that on a Super Sunday of this cricket festival here in Pennsylvania. And then in the afternoon, the home team pretty much have to win out if they want to make those playoffs. The Philadelphians up against top of the table Manhattan Yorkers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a real pleasure for me and all of the team here at Exton Park for bringing the coverage live to you. Don't miss it tomorrow because I can guarantee you it will be a blockbuster. See you at 10 a.m. bright and early tomorrow on Sunday.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.